I think anything that needs to be totally revamped is out of the question. I don't want it. I don't want begging Dice to revamp anything right now. When it comes to revamping stuff for Dice, it usually takes them a long time and it wastes a whole bunch of time when it comes to releasing actual content like maps, weapons, vehicles, and gadgets, and even now specialists. Um, it is a selling point for specialists. It is an excellent design to make money. The other is to solve an issue that may not have been an insane issue, but it's literally the first thing they brought up. Was like, why did we do specials? Well, we want to do specials to, to free you from the limits of the class system. And, we want you can use any primary weapon you want, you know? And I was like, okay. And he gave like a statistic as to like people picked, sniper class like 90% of the time. Why? Because of the primary weapon, the sniper rifle. Not because of the gadgets or, spawn beacon or the censored ball or whatever. That's what they said. And so this was their answer to that. And I'm like, okay, fine, like whatever, but you can't revamp this. Like it's done. It's literally the first meeting probably at Dice is like, what are we gonna do with the class system? And this is what they came up with. There's no way they're gonna turn back other than tweaking it, right? Tweaking certain things. But yeah, I mean, Flakfire had some great ideas when it comes to faction specific clothing. Okay, yeah, that doesn't seem too hard to do.
Well, we had that in Battlefield 3 already, right? I mean, it's
You just lock it, right? Like the standard, like McKay would look one way on default, and then he would look another way on default. That doesn't seem hard to do. Like that seems super easy. Like
just paint
make a default skin and like paint them two different colors, one with the cowboy hat and one with the regular hat. Like.
Did the beta actually meet your expectations? And
It exceeded.
And if not, or if yes, tell me explicitly, like, where did they meet your expectations and where did they maybe not meet your expectations? Julian, you just started. Maybe
Sure.
Go ahead again, and then
yeah. Well, hey, happy episode 40, Mizzy. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
on.
Right, it's 40.
Appreciate it. Yeah, look at that. Talking about the beta, yeah, it exceeded my expectations when it comes to just my current setup. Because it wasn't the same for everybody. I was listening around on Twitter and on Reddit and everything, and it kind of seems like people had very mixed reactions or just like performance, connection issues. Just even trying to get the client for the beta was very weird. It just kind of seemed to work for me. I don't know what happened, but I got it right at midnight. Got the client. It was kind of like laggy until it popped up, but it popped up and then I got on. And I don't know how, but I actually got into a server by joining off one of my friends because there weren't enough servers at the time. So I was surprised. I was like, oh my God, we actually got in within the first like 5 minutes and started playing. So yeah, that exceeded my expectation. Oh no, I disappeared.
Wait, oh no, wait. Oh, fuck, the window.
Missy's trying to do behind the scenes.
Yeah. I wanted to check the sound again. We had a little sound issue here. I don't know if you guys can hear it in chat and if it's too annoying, but that's why we're a little late. I can't fix it, unfortunately, but I certainly tried. So I thought I'd take a look again in the background. No, you don't sound weird. Nobody sounds weird. It's just maybe I hear a little pop sound, and you guys say it sounds fine to you. I think I'm just too. I don't know. I want everything perfect, as always. And for you guys, it sounds perfect, and I can hear it, and it drives me nuts. But maybe it's just me. Maybe it's really just on my end that it is actually great. So, sorry. So I didn't want to... just go ahead, please.
But yeah, that was my expectations was just to connect and not to crash or drop out. And it met all those expectations, and it felt smooth. The first thing I did was turn everything on low, just so I don't have to deal with any like unoptimized, map design or whatever. And looks like that was a big issue for a lot of people. So yeah, it blew me away. I thought it was gonna be a complete disaster, but I ended up
That's actually
playing
very
every
interesting to
single
hear that
day.
from you. That's very interesting to hear that from you because I know how you were thinking about it and how frustrated you were. I mean, you had the Battlefield show running for so long and did a good job there, and then you stopped playing because you were so frustrated with Battlefield 5. So you had some expectations for Battlefield 2042, and that counts for
Yeah.
something. Also, very interesting, I think, to see guys. Gabytron and Julian are both playing on PC, right? And
Yeah.
SMK, you play on, do you play on console and PC? Or you could basically, but you play
I
mostly
could.
on console, right?
Mainly on console, yeah.
And right now, mainly even on Xbox, right?
Yeah, mainly on well, yeah. Well, that's one thing I can discuss. It's not a big deal for me. Like, are you moving on to me now? I can start talking, yeah.
You're allowed.
Okay. Just making sure because yeah, expectations. I mean, one of the reasons why I wanted to give it a go on Xbox is because obviously Xbox can support 1440p, 120 frames. You know, I know it's asking for maybe a bit too much, but obviously I was hoping for maybe a bit of resolution support and higher frames on the Xbox, 1440p 120 or 1080p 120, but we didn't get that. Obviously I'm hoping we get it the main release. And going into the game, I had expectations of being able to try and work out the gunplay. How do they implement spread into the guns, bloom, all that type of stuff. And it's very, very hard to work that out. I still don't understand it. And I kept seeing people on PC talking about how they were struggling with the recoil, yet on console I wasn't having any issues whatsoever. Like, I personally wanted more recoil on the guns because they feel far too easy to use. But then, Danny on PC came out with it. Recoil's different between PC and console. So I know
yeah.
I'm not going to talk too much on that because I think going to talk about that a little bit later on.
That's actually surprising me because that's what I heard on many times. Also, my experience on console is the same. Like, it was more like laser beam guns. Everyone had like laser beam guns. So on PC, the recoil is a lot different.
Yeah. So what Danny on PC did, he used the panels along one of the walls, and basically the guns tended to go up to 3 panels on PC, whereas on console and controller on PC, they only went up 2 panels. So it looks like recoil's maybe something like 25 to 30% greater whenever you're using mouse and keyboard on PC at the minute. So I wasn't expecting that, but again, I think we're going to discuss later on.
Yeah, that's a
more about
detail. We
comparisons.
definitely go there later. We also have some clips to show you
I
guys.
put a link to the to Danny's Twitter where he was talking about that. There's a graphic, so I put that in the chat right now.
Yeah,
Oh, perfect.
good stuff. But yeah, I went into it expecting there to be a lot of open space and a lot, it could be difficult versus certain, engagements and whatnot. The way the map is laid out with it tends to be a section of flags at one end, a section of flags at the other. There's a lot of big space in between that when you're moving between it. It feels like there's a lot of empty space. Normally in a conquest game, 70, 80 kills, I was struggling to get 40. I just feel there's a lot of, stuff going on in it and you're just running around a wee bit too much. I don't think that's going to change at all, so I've kind of accepted that now. They're not going to change the map layouts now. There's no way that's changing. But yeah, I was hoping for better performance on the Xbox. I had a lot of stuttering with the weapons. I posted a clip on it on my Twitter earlier on. the guns was stuttering for me very, very badly, and it seemed to be like just what happened occasionally, where your gun just stopped firing even though you're holding down the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you were having that issue on PC at all. I don't know, but the guns would stutter.
Sometimes the guns would just, like, I was on the LMG a lot,
Yes, that's
and
the main
it
one,
would
yeah.
just like stop
Yeah, it
firing for
jammed,
like a hot second,
yeah.
and then continue. Like
Yeah,
weird
it's-
lag or something.
Yeah, so it wasn't too. Yeah, I think she's bringing up the clip there now.
Yeah, I
so-
mean, you can't stop talking about it. We have to bring it up now.
So it's not obviously an engagement when that starts happening. That there was 100 rounds on the left. You can see there, that's another 100 rounds, and it always seemed to happen after you've moved on to the second magazine. It should be going up to the same height every time, but it doesn't. This instance here, it wasn't as bad, but it still stuttered a little bit on the way up. But you can see on the second one there, it just stopped and was just constantly stuttering, and it was like every time it stuttered, it kind of went back to like as if you
Yeah.
were firing it again, and the recoil wasn't going up anymore, and it was just really off-putting.
It looks like it reset there, and that was
Yeah,
weird.
it looks like it's just just reset, and it just wouldn't go up any further. And a lot of the performance with the guns, I went in hoping, right, I want to determine the kind of gun mechanics I have in this game, do a video on it, because I know we haven't had any of that information yet. I know it's going to come later on. They'll probably do some kind of briefing on it, but I kind of wanted to give some people a little bit of an information before then. But it's just, you can't work it out. And that there was a little bit disappointing for me. I don't know how they've implemented it. It's weird because it seems that, I don't know, it was weird. I was finding as if spread was greater on, say you were using the same weapon, but say you had, like, you've got your optic sight here and then you've got a scope. I felt like it was different. I was having really, really bad times with the times, like it looked like a ×3 scoped weapon. Like, I struggled to be as accurate with it, even at distance, compared to like the Coyote sight there. It was really strange. Like the scopes had greater spread on it. It was really weird. Very strange.
So, if you don't have anything to add to that, I would like to go back to the first question and ask Gabby to say something. I know you couldn't play as much as you wanted to the beta. Did you had some time to play before? Were you invited as EA Game Changer to play before?
I did play the technical test. I got to play more of that than I did the beta this time around. So for me, my main concern has always been hardware and performance. I've always struggled to run a new Battlefield game on my PC. I've literally had to replace my rig just for Battlefield every time Battlefield comes out. So that was my biggest concern with this game. Like, I could hear the fans for my 1080 like just spinning in my computer because it was struggling. That's my first. That's always been my issue. Started playing any Battlefield beta or anything like new is always performance. Like, I don't know what kind of machines these guys are putting the game together on, that they think that we've got the everyone's got a 3080 or a 2080. I was like, so
that's actually one of my questions. Like,
Well,
do you guys? I mean, maybe we can just jump right into that. Do you guys think, in point of performance? I mean, we saw a very buggy and beta. Do you think, in point of performance, Battlefield will run like old console, old gen, PC?
I think it's going to be a struggle for people on old consoles like last gen to be on this game. I think it's kind of, I did see a tweet somewhere where someone was like, man, that must be holding the development back, or you have to make sure that this game works on like potato systems from 7, 8, 9 years ago. It's like,
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. It's rough.
Isn't the PS4 even older? Like
Yeah, isn't it like
something?
Yeah, it's coming up to what, 8
13?
years now. Yeah, it's 8 years now.
Right.
It's time to move on, kids. Time to get a PC.
We would if we could.
Baloney. Yeah, 13 years to do it. 13 years.
Give me somewhere where I can order it. I mean, like, legally.
It's too late now. The world is doomed at this
I
point.
don't
It
think they
is.
would have done it if we weren't having this issue. I think it's been a last minute thing where they've probably tried to flipped. Or the world can't get hold of Xboxes and Series X. They can't get PS5s. Like, we're going to lose out a lot of money here if we don't do this backwards. And I think
That's a good point.
I think they've probably made that decision for that because they brought on, like, how many teams were working on it? Do we even know what Criterion were working on? Were they working on helping with making backwards compatible with past games? Like, we don't really know. They're working on Battlefield 2042, but what aspect are they working on? We don't really know. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we have quite a lot of PC players here in chat, I see.
Good.
Yeah.
But no, I heard, I don't know if it's true, but how was streaming on PC? Because I heard some people were really struggling, like streaming on
was
PC
great.
and playing. But
It was pretty good. Yeah, I had it all on low, so at 1080p. So it was pretty smooth for me. I must say.
Yeah, I had no issues. I just got a 1440p monitor, and I was also concerned that might
Ooh.
kind of, get the,
Yeah.
like bottleneck my graphics card. But I was able to see, people from across the map. So that's my base concern is visibility. So if I can see people, I'm okay with that. Being able to tell whether they're friendly or enemies is another story, though. But but yeah, no, I stream great. I use NDI tools to stream, so I just send like a broadcast of my stream over to my streaming laptop. So I had no issues performance wise as far as trying to run the game and stream at the same time.
do you think that we don't have that much of destruction also because of the performance? Because it will take too much then, or especially for
I don't know.
returns?
It might just be this map.
I just felt like on Orbital, I would like to have completely. I would like to see a total destruction of some buildings, or when the tornado, was coming. Like I felt like there was not there was no dynamic destruction also with the area. Like I mean, you saw everything flying up, but you didn't see like massive.
I didn't get a
total
tornado
destruction.
in my game. I think I saw a tornado at the end in the distance, but I didn't get one in my games. I'm actually sad about
Yeah,
that.
I only got one the first night, and then the last 3 days I didn't see any tornado. And I thought always, okay, the weather is so bad, it has to come, and it never came. I was like, why? I'm ready.
But I think maybe Orbital. Sorry, just real quick. Orbital also
Please.
feel like might not have that much. Like, there's not really. There's a couple of buildings like off, on this landing strip or whatever the rocket. Like, there's some buildings there, but it felt like most of it like wasn't really things that could be, I don't know, destroyed. Kind of like it just. I feel like the regular like brick and concrete mortar buildings, whatever, like those are like lend themselves to destruction a little bit better. But I feel like we had like more tunnels and like scaffolding and pipes and just things that didn't really explode like, the way that rubble or like a building would. So maybe it was just Orbital. If we were maybe something that's a bit more close quarters with more buildings, maybe we'll see more destruction.
Yeah, the guy said here as well, there are only 5 buildings, but still, I mean, there are 5 buildings we could have destroyed, Or like Deuce said, like, it would be cool if the tornado whipped off the ground and create more cover, or the one-way especially, or just changed the area.
Yeah, if it changed, like, I know Dice was talking about terrain deformation, I can never say that word, and how they were tweaking it just to save some performance. They did this in Battlefield 3. This could be one of the reasons why the game was delayed, because of performance. Straight up performance was probably why it was delayed. And so they're just kind of going through all those different things, different aspects. So if you wanted the tornado to do certain things, like, screw up the ground and make holes and stuff and everywhere, it would tank and probably crash the entire server. I was completely surprised that I barely got any crashes at all on my settings on low at 1080p. It was exciting. I was like, wow.
Especially when you think back to, was it Battlefield 4 with Siege of Shanghai with the tower?
Oh, yeah.
In the beta or something? Wasn't that the game crashed always when the tower
launch?
when the tower was falling down?
Yeah.
And I think this is
Literally.
something, so this is great, This is actually great. I mean, there were not major crashes, I think. I mean, I think in these 4 days, I had 2 crashes of the game, and it was definitely not something with the tornado, the rocket, or anything big. It was random. Nothing, I don't know what it was. But I was
Yeah,
also an
anyway.
OGen. Please go ahead.
Speaking about those buildings, remember we're like I think it just has to do with setting, and they're just going for like a spectacle. Like remember everything's like based on a lore, I guess, that they have. And you know, the whole thing is we're going to this remote island that I guess nobody's living at. They're just trying to set off you know, rockets and whatnot. And I think that's all it is. And if you go to an actual base in real life that's similar, that's all you see are steel concrete buildings that are half empty or like just full of equipment. And it looks like that's just the design choice for that map, and not like, you know, living spaces and houses like you had in you know, Bad Company 2 maps, you know, where things are made of wood and you know, steel and whatnot, and those would like crumble, right, when you would drive through in anything like Battlefield 5. Most of it is all wooden stuff, you know. And so if you look in Orbital, it's all steel and, you know, concrete rebar. There's not much we can do other than blow holes in the side, which you could. You could blow holes in the side with whatever explosive you had. I mean, sometimes. I do remember shooting a rocket straight at a wall and it just did not budge. But I don't think this is a destruction heavy map just by looking at it. It's just the way it is. This is designed not to have destruction. But I mean, they already said to be reassured that there's a whole city you can demolish in Hourglass, apparently in the south of the map. There's a gigantic town, probably drive tanks through everything, and we can judge it there. But Orbital is just not that destruction map.
Well, yeah, like after the tornado came through in this instance here, you know, whenever I seen the tornado coming in, you could see cars, you could see containers flying around it. So I figured, right, that must be picking up containers. Is it going to be kind of cool if those containers flew out of it and maybe landed somewhere, you know, and it changed up like different places, different areas of the map a little bit. But I couldn't find, you know, I kind of was running around, right, where's there containers on the map? And I could remember, okay, in and around the C1 flag, there's containers, but they all looked, because it came through this way. If you look up on the hillside there, you can see it does pull out all the trees, which isn't the most helpful, to be honest with you, because now the whole area up there is completely bare, and it's a big barren area of the map now. So, you know, it already was kind of bare. Now it's even harder to run up there, because if someone, you know, you run up there, everyone's going to friggin' see you. You're going to have, what, how many? 30, 40 players shooting at you. But yeah, the tornado just made its way through. I couldn't see any real changes to the map. It picks you up. It seems to have containers in there. I don't know if it's just they generate while they're up there.
Generated, and
I was
like
hoping,
fake containers.
I was hoping it had picked them up. You know, maybe it had picked them up from here, and they all land, say, on, I don't know, the D1 flag or something. But it didn't seem to do that for some reason.
I mean, do remember a developer saying that they were having a test and they were getting sniped at, and the storm or the tornado threw a container at the sniper who was aiming at him.
Exactly.
So I wonder if that's gonna be like, if that's gonna be, you know, if it's gonna stay there. Yeah, and I think this was like, I don't know when this was a developer. Or like somebody like pretty high up in DICE too, so it wasn't just some random on Twitter. So they did say that. I personally, like I said, I didn't even see a tornado this time around, so I have nothing to say on the tornado this time. So.
I saw that too. Whatever you saw, I read that too. And when I flew in the tornado, I'm not sure if you can see it now. I pull it up. I'm not sure if that's actually in the material there, besides these graphical issues. Yeah. But you can see.
What was that?
I don't know, man. Bokumashi said it's a matrix. But anyways, no, you can't see it. Unfortunately, I cut it out. But you can see containers flying around there. I saw them.
Yeah, I noticed it too. I was wondering, wait, where are they coming from? Are they maybe is it's coming across from somewhere that's not playable? I don't know. They're just constantly there to give it that look that it's picking up stuff, but. Yeah, obviously, we know you can blow out walls. You know, we drove a car through a wall and landed in there, you know, pretty cool moments because we all jumped out and started killing everybody. But, Yeah, it doesn't really take the roofs off buildings or anything like that. It would be cool if it could do a bit more destruction, but I think there is things in the map that some people might not realize that, you know, there is destruction involved. Like, I spent a ton of time running around just exploring, seeing what I could do, and like all of the, like, there's various different like gas containers, fuel containers all around the map, and they all have their own animations for when they're being destroyed. Some of them create like shockwave blasts. Some of them you can see that, you know, the fire coming out of them, and then they explode. Some of them go on fire and then they create a big fireball. There is like,
There's a lot going on.
yeah,
A lot to discover.
You can blow up and destroy, you know, those cryo tanks.
Yeah.
And a lot of people may not realize it. I did do a video on it. Whenever you're in that kind of cryo effect, you can't regenerate your health. You can maybe use it to your advantage, and the blast from them could do damage if someone's behind them as well. And they're kind of all around the map. There is like some things around there, like what is it? The tires come off vehicles and stuff as well. You know,
I
I
didn't
didn't notice.
realize it till I saw your video, actually. So thank you.
yeah, there is. I know a lot of people want more destruction, but there is just some things in there people may not realize. Like I put out a wee short video today showing me blowing up, and it's kind of over there in that distance, way over there somewhere, kind of outside it isn't within the playable area, but it's an area that people kind of wouldn't go to. Really, I think you'll see it in Breakthrough, but you know, there's big like fuel containers over there. I blew it up with the C5 and it created this big, huge, massive fireball explosion. It's quite cool. Quite cool. I
So,
don't know if Mizzy has it there or not, but
what exactly? The blow up of the...
fireball.
I don't have the fireball, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No
I don't have
worries.
that one. The one from today, you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not that great.
Hold on, let me see. Let's see if I can. Where is it?
I mean, just send me the link, and then... Oh, no, I can pull up the link. I can pull up the link and put it in the chat. I mean, I can also just drag
I'm
it
still
through.
impressed by the graphics of the explosion. Like when you I've seen some clips that look absolutely gorgeous when the rocket is exploding, or when it's lifting off, or when people are like riding on top of it. But when it comes to destruction, when it blows up, it like creates just an insane debris field on the tarmac there and all over. Almost changes the entire dynamic of that flag over there. I think it's Echo flag or something.
There it
Yeah.
is.
And it's quite amazing. Oh, there you are in the background.
I'll disappear for a second. Give me a second.
Ah, very good. Wait. Then I pull it up here at least. Hey, by the way, you asked about vehicles. Yes, we will talk about vehicles and vehicle balance. If you're still here, we definitely will talk about that. We can do it as soon as possible if you want to.
But
yeah, I was in a vehicle most of the time, so that's
Perfect. Then
my
let's
life.
talk about vehicle balance
look at
maybe
that.
next.
Look at that.
I actually, you know
Wow.
what? I must say, I think this, whoever designed and developed these explosions, damn, I feel that they look so great. Like every time I see an explosion,
Oh,
I
the
think
rocket. Oh, my God.
they're amazing, right? I think they
The
look
rocket
so
explosion.
incredible. From the design experience, it's really something.
Yeah, with the tornado right next to the rocket and it blowing up and all the sparks and everything. I was like, God damn.
Yes, yes.
Like, what the heck am I playing here? This
Like-
is crazy.
Like even if you're like I don't know if you saw it, but I was going up with the rocket one time, and then you see these little details that it's getting colder, you know, because you're getting to space and it's kind of starting to freeze. You know, there are so many details. It's amazing. Like
Speaking of
everything-
cold, real quick, did you guys take cold damage at all? Did anyone almost die from being cold? Because I did. I
You did?
So how does that work, Gabby?
So, Missy, if you have my clip of where I got the multi-kill, I'm like by the spheres over at C1 or C2, I believe it is. Those, if you get really close to them, they're cold, and then your
Right.
screen starts freezing up around the edges. Well, inside some of the buildings around, I think is D1 or D2, those pipes are running throughout the entire building, and if you shoot at them, then you have like that cold gas. I forgot the name of it right now, of course, obviously. And it's like shooting down on you, and you start taking damage. And I got down to like about yellow because I was just standing there.
Here, guys.
Okay, I pull it
Cryogenic
up.
thing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I pull it up.
So the
It's
It's
more
not beautiful,
Never
but I can
mind.
pull
stand
it up.
on it,
Okay,
wait,
I
the
got
more
it.
you
Don't worry about it.
and it'll start damage you the more
They
you're
have
in it.
not these specific ones, but these just
Oh.
make you cold, and they slow you down, and you get that effect on your screen. It's inside the buildings where the pipes are running through. Those are the ones that like you start taking damage.
Oh.
So yeah, there's cold damage in Battlefield. Just so everybody knows.
Just on the
Interesting.
pipes, huh?
Just those pipes, yeah. I don't know what
Oh,
other kind of
interesting.
random damage we'll take. I didn't take any invisible fire damage this time around, which I'm very happy because I have been fighting with invisible fire in Battlefield since
You see?
Battlefield 4.
You taught us something. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like.
I think I didn't even have
liquid
them on the last gen. I think this is the area where we don't even get.
Yeah, I think it's liquid nitrogen, or it could be liquid O2 for like rocket fuel,
Yeah.
some
some
kind
sort
of
of-
coolant. Yeah.
some kind
Yeah.
of coolant. It could be one of those.
That's
Sorry,
amazing.
I work in a lab, so.
No, I'm glad. No, yes, I need to know the actual name of it, so I'm not just calling it the cold air, the cold gas,
Yeah,
the cold
liquid
liquid.
nitrogen, liquid O2. These are just massive doers for holding those types of chemicals, rocket chemicals.
So I would say let's take a look into let's talk about vehicle balance. Who of you had the chance to get vehicles, because it was also a little bit difficult sometimes to even get a vehicle? Who could try it from you? Gabby was.
Yeah.
What did you try?
I want to point out to Cuppa Joe's question directly.
Yes,
He was
please.
in the tank turret in the secondary gunner, and it kept stuttering. That
Oh,
was
yes.
terrible.
Yes,
That
I
was
had that
bad.
too.
So bad. Like I didn't even want to play secondary because it was giving me a headache. Like I was gonna get a seizure.
Damn, I'm
Just
switching
watching
now
everything
again.
shake around.
Unbelievable. I had even this year. Here.
By the way, that's a grenade versus a tank, and I think I want to test it now. I think you can do. Yeah, this was bad.
Look
It
at
wasn't as
that.
bad in airplanes for me or helicopters. It was.
That was a
definitely
drone.
worse
It's a
Oh, this was the
It's a
drone.
drone.
Okay, I thought you were like the spotter seat.
No,
or
it was
something.
my drone, and it was like it doesn't matter. It's a vehicle issue in general. Some
That didn't
vehicles,
happen to me.
but this is not always. I think
Yeah.
the rocket started like a few seconds before, and then it started stuttering, and I was like, "Stop it!" You know, I can't see anything.
It's so off. But even when you're watching it now, it seems worse. But whenever you're actually, in controlling it and moving around the turret, the tanks, the same, it's just all over the place. Oh man, I had to get out of it.
But it only happened once, and I'm probably the only person it happened to.
I haven't had it. I never got in a chopper.
Okay, we have to stop it now. Everyone gets sick here.
Yeah.
Okay, but in
So,
general, come on, let's go back to vehicle balance. Many people were complaining about choppers are totally OP. Agree, disagree? Chat, you too.
100% agreed.
Nightbird,
Choppers are
whatever it is.
completely overpowered. Yet the Nightbird, has issues with its
My girl!
machine
with you.
gun. The machine gun is like not aligned correctly, and it's not center aligned. Like it doesn't converge onto your target. So when you're trying to kill infantry, it's completely useless. So everyone just switches over to the rockets that destroy everything, and they're very nimble, the little birds. So they're just completely farming at Bravo building on the rooftop. There's like 1 billion spawns at the rooftop. It's kind of ridiculous. I kind of hope they change it. Otherwise, the farm is real up there, especially if you're in an attack helicopter. You just switch the shit out of that, and you're just mowing down people for like 30 minutes until you get just locked on by everybody. It's a complete exploit. I see my friends do that, getting 100 kills around. It's just mental. And they're gonna have to change something about that. I'm sure they will. But hey, we've seen it before in other Battlefield games, and it just depends on the way the vehicle behaves after you exit it. Should it fall down faster? Should it topple over when you exit it? I think I've seen that before in BF4, but I don't know. But it's part of the sandbox. It's part of the whole battlefield thing. It's just a staple of seat switching into a TV missile and then switching back to the seat. It has some sort of skill gap there. I understand that, but it's just kind of crazy. I don't understand the Bravo building. If you just go there, everything flies there. It's just a crazy madhouse, and yeah, it's just anyway. Anyway. So other than that, the vehicles are very slow to start, like tanks, cars, trucks. They're all like electric or like some sort of a hybrid of some sort. Even the tanks, I think, are a hybrid. It's kind of weird. Or even like nuclear power. I don't know, but they're very slow to start, and they're not super snappy in first person or in third person. So tanks are easy to manage. You get your rockets, you get your grenades, and they're done. They're kind of fast when you're at full throttle in the open, but that's about it. But yeah, cars are super slow to start up, and some of the vehicles are just really janky. I think they got a lot of work to do when it comes to balancing the vehicles. The jets are useless.
Oh, they're absolutely rubbish. I wasn't killed once.
Forgot about that.
Not once. And how
No
many
one,
hours?
no one got killed
Okay,
by a jet on the ground. I guarantee you, no, unless they crashed themselves.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was wondering if they even got anything like for air to ground to destroy infantry.
Probably.
I was like, why haven't I been killed by any jet yet? I couldn't understand it.
Well, people were complaining that the jet is really weird to fly.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
somebody said I could never get into one. I never saw one to spawn into. But I saw one person who said, like, in the end, he figured out that he had to fly the jet as if it is a chopper, and then it was cool. Like, he was flying to this Bravo building, like really slow, and I was wondering why. Yeah, hovering, and then killing everyone, and then just do a drive-by and was off, and that he did that over and over again like a loop. And I saw actually people flying the jets like this, and I was wondering, what are they doing? Why are they hovering all the time? So I don't know if that's an issue that they, I don't know. But for the choppers, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Right now, we don't have a lot of guns. We don't have a lot of tools. Do you think it will kind of, I mean, yes, one thing somebody said in the chat is maybe a cooldown. The other thing, I mean, what if we get more tools for anti-air, like anti-air mines or, other guns we can use, other...
I hear there's tons of lock-ons already. You got lock-ons from everybody that uses the AA missile. I mean, when you're up there, you're beeping almost all the time. Not only from jets.
Yeah, but they're
from
so
other
quick. They are so
helicopters.
quick. You ping them and it's beeping, but then if you shoot, they're already gone. You can't even get them with the. It's weird.
Yeah, but you want more of lock-ons. You want more like stationary and anti-air tanks. Like they're there already. Like locking on to, I think there's plenty of lock-ons already, especially with
the end. I didn't
access.
see the tanks actually. Yeah. Well,
Everyone has access to an AA missile that does quite a bit of damage when it
I was
locks
just
on.
thinking of Battlefield 4. Like I mean, I usually took my AA mine and my RPG, so I slowed them down with my AA mine and then shot them with my RPG.
Yeah, that was my tactic too.
No, that was my tactic.
I hope they don't add something like that, but I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
For me, I think
I just don't want them to
pods-
take them off.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
I'm so afraid people are so complaining now that they do the same shit as in Battlefield 3. And they take the choppers out because they are too OP. And I don't want to see that. I want them in there. I want my little birds in there so I can shoot them. And I don't want them to take them out because some people are complaining about it. That's all. But that's me.
See, the issue with the rocket pods is they just, you don't have to. What is it? They get is it 12 or 16 they have? You don't have to shoot them all before they start regenerating. So say they only shoot 4 or 5, it automatically starts going back up to the 12 or 16 or whatever it is, and then the cooldown's not long enough on them. Then it just needs to be a bit. I would rather they put a longer cooldown on those, or they have to shoot them all first before they start regenerating back. Yeah, it's just constantly killed by them. And the thing about it is, you just hear the ground shaking before you even know what the heck's happening. You know, you're running, and the next thing, there's the whole freaking ground shaking around you, and then you're like dead, and you don't even know what got you until you know. It's just, you don't really know it's coming in or it's shooting at you, anything like that. It just does strafing runs backwards and forwards, and you're, oh man, just constantly being killed by them all the time.
Oh yeah, we saw that in the leaked alpha footage of just people getting mowed down by of the little birds constantly. So I think it was about the same thing. They didn't really change much. But yeah, the farm is real. It's crazy, dude. I've seen the most insane kill streaks. Some of the top streamers out there are all on those little birds and whatnot, and just murdering people. It's, I don't know. It looks like they're having fun on there.
I was just gonna say, let us have fun. Let the choppy flyers have fun. We haven't had fun since Battlefield 4 died off. Let us fly. Let us terrorize the sky. If you go up to B with 20 other people and you just become a farming ground for us, if you go up to B, you're choosing to go fight with that jet and heli and everyone that's flying around. Go down to D, go down to F, go down to C1 if you don't want to get harassed.
Go into the tunnel.
Go into a tunnel. You want to get mowed down by a chopper? Go up to B.
Oh man, I think what I'm talking about. What was it? I think
I like where this is going here.
I think a little bird dude, or two of them, got a fright of their life, because I've seen people call in tanks up on top of that B roof, and there was 3 one time I went up and sitting there shooting them down. They didn't come around very often after that. Calling in tanks on the rooftops.
I completely forgot about that. The whole time I was on the roof, that I could. I'm still forgetting that I can just call in vehicles. To be honest, it's still not like consciously in my mind.
And the thing about it is how they got them down as well, because the next thing I seen him, the tank was on the ground, so he must have drove it off the roof, and it mustn't have blown up when it hit the ground for some reason, because the next thing you know, he wasn't getting the little birds up anymore, so he drove off the roof and doesn't have did any damage when he landed on the ground. Yet some other times you fall from a wee height. Like, see the parachuting, I still haven't got a hang of it yet. The amount of times I've jumped off that B roof and fell to my death, it's like you're at a constant speed for a while, and then just when you're getting towards the ground, it's like you speed up, and then you just like, oh crap, too late, you know, trying to pull your shit. But if you jump off the friggin' B, you grapple hook onto the side, you can bounce off the ground and end up over at the rocket.
So back to vehicle balance. Choppers, I mean, you know, opinions are very, very different. They are OP, they are not OP. They should be as they are. They should not be as they are. They should not be nerfed. Did any of you fly a jet?
No way.
Yeah.
And how was it?
It's I'm not the right person to, you know, judge flight mechanics, but I talked to the best pilots I know, and they all think it's crap and useless and terrible.
Why?
Across the board. Flight mechanics are bad. That's all they say. It's just not something that they like. And I talked to the best, and they just don't do it.
Okay.
People saying the same thing in my chat, and who knows? Even if they fix that out, they maybe buff their weapons. Who knows? The little birds might not
still
be
have
as
a
much
month.
of a problem, because you know the jets are now starting to do damage to the little birds. Because I just felt that they had free reign over that map, anywhere they wanted to go, like everywhere.
People just didn't want to adapt to kill them.
So how about the tanks? Are they okay?
I didn't have
turret,
issues with tanks.
other than that.
No issues. Yeah, no issues. They're
Besides
slow.
the stuttering, they're slow.
Yeah, the stuttering thing, that'll be fixed. I've seen that before in other Battlefield games.
That's true.
It's some sort of like desync with, you know, what the driver is doing. Dude, you know, here, let me tell you a quick little story. Like, the craziest bug ever happened with the tank gunners on the top. I don't know if you guys remember this. In Battlefield 4, there was a new patch, and then we all started getting in, and then the servers would crash, and then everyone's just perplexed. I was like, what is going on? And because we thought we fixed the issue, right? And then when we noticed when someone would go and spawn onto the tank gunner and fired one bullet, the entire server would crash. And this happened for like a whole week. It was nuts. But yeah, it looks like there's something up with like the tank gunner position. Always had problems over the years. But I think that was the craziest bug I think I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, so I'm not surprised.
The one thing I like is the C5 seems to absolutely vaporize tanks.
Hell yeah.
I was wondering, is this a bug? There's just a crater left in the ground now. You know, when you put C4 in your tank and blow it up, it's not like there's a shell or anything left. It's just gone. It just vaporizes.
Disintegrates.
I was like, did I kill them? What happened here? You know, I was just surprised. You know, it just seems to absolutely destroy everything. C5, I freaking love it.
And the grenades too.
Yeah.
I'm actually happy to see the parachute bug again from Battlefield 3. Did you see that? Like when they're...
The vehicle had the parachute?
Yeah, the vehicle had the parachute. I had that in Battlefield 3 with the chopper, and I loved it. I mean, there are some bugs, you know, you gotta love. You know, they're good.
Hell yeah.
And this is definitely one I totally love to see back in 2042.
It's such a big dynamic change too, coming from Battlefield 5. It's like just everything took so long. The tanks were so overpowered and tanky, and it's a great change, you know.
Absolutely.
But it is weird, right? Like, it doesn't even make any sense, but it's fun. It's a beta. I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens, right, when they release it.
I like the music in the vehicles.
Oh,
Real quick, sorry. I like the music. I liked the first time that I saw that the truck was playing music. I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna get in. I'm like pressing buttons and listening to a radio. And I think it was an AI because the way they did this was very clunky. They walked up to me and then they shot me. Then they stole my car and like ran away. But I feel like a person would have been a lot more like faster about it. I think this was a bot that did that. The bots killed me while I was listening to music in the car.
Shall we talk about AI bots now? That's actually a good hint.
Bots were crazy. Did you have them like driving cars, kamikazing right into you? That happened to me like 3 or 4 times.
We are lucky. We have a good video here. We can show you guys in the background. SMK actually made that video. You can also see it on his channel.
What happened to that poor soul?
I thought he just spontaneously combusted.
Cylon, can you link his channel quick in the chat so people can watch the whole video later if they want to?
Yeah.
So maybe SMK, you say something quick about it because I mean you did a deep analysis.
There's bots and they don't carry weapons. There's bots that just throw grenades, smoke grenades. They just throw smoke everywhere, and they've unlimited supplies. Grenade, grenade, grenade. They're just throwing these. Then there's some that just knife you. All they do is run around knifing. They don't shoot you. They don't carry a weapon. And then there's some that just throw grenades as well. So there's ones that throw smoke grenades, ones that just run around knifing, and then there's ones that throw active, you know, like just regular grenades at you. This dude here is the other side of this container trying to knife me. He'll eventually get over. I just went into a server full of bots and was just trying to see, you know, how could they kill me, you know? But yeah, I think they need to improve them sometimes because some people were saying to me they were either really stupid but they could be really accurate when they wanted to be. Because someone said they got sniped out of a little bird.
Yep.
Yeah, by one of them, which is like, I had nothing like that. Absolutely nothing like that.
Dumb.
You know, like they see you and they just start smoke at you. So I thought, right, let me see if he comes up behind me and tries to get me.
So right there, that was a smoke grenade.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there,
that's him throwing.
That is crazy. That's huge.
He just, you know, I'm trying to do damage to him, and he's just not doing any damage to me whatsoever. He doesn't shoot. He just, anytime he sees you, he just throws a smoke grenade at you. But at least I worked out, you know, later on in the video you'll see if they hit you directly with the smoke grenade, it will do, 30 damage to you?
Look at him go. That's a crazy... Medics are going to love that.
That you actually had the time to find them and do all these videos, SMK. It's like, I mean, I think, I was always thinking that I didn't even see a bot. The whole I was blind. I don't know. I was actually looking for them, but like every time I got killed, I was thinking like, is that a bot or is it not a bot? Or maybe they were.
It feels like they were a false sense of security because you'd see somebody coming up and you're like, oh, it's a bot. and then they mow you down. I
How
felt
do you,
like that happened a lot. Like
How do
I'm
you
like, oh, someone's coming, whatever.
sorry, but how do you feel, all of you, also in the chat, how do you feel like bots, yes or no? Do you want to see AI
No,
still, yes or no? Do you think
absolutely not. They're worthless. They don't need this. Maybe add them like a course for people that want to do shooting practice ranges or whatever. This is completely unneeded for multiplayer. I don't know why. Maybe for later on down its life cycle, sure, turn them back on or something so fill up the server. They don't need them.
He's
They
just
don't need
running
them at
from me.
launch.
Yeah, you fell away from me.
They're
yeah.
completely useless, and they ruin a lot of people's content too when they're trying to make clips and whatnot. It's like an AI just comes out of nowhere. But in the beta, I would say about 5, maybe 2% of the time I've actually seen bots, and it's usually like when the game first launched or when it was about to end. That's the only time I've ever seen bots. So I don't know. I think they should just get rid of them for
Yeah.
all-out warfare at least.
I saw a clip on Twitter of a bot doing a matrix jump over someone's bullet. I'm gonna put it in chat because this is ridiculous. I'm
Yeah.
used to
I think you can
saw
put links
that.
in chat. Gabby, you have to send them to me, quick, and then I put them in there. Or I
Okay.
have to make you mod, then you can do it, something like that.
I've been posting them all stream.
Yeah, I know.
I'll do that. I'll send it to you in Discord.
Yeah.
Let me try something.
Also, the skins on the AI bots are really cool, and some people are like, "Hey, give me that."
Yeah, some people I heard some people like them. At least you can tell. That's how I.
At least you can tell
pretty
the
much-
difference.
That's
yeah.
how I was able to tell. Oh, okay, this is a bot from a distance, so I would be able to run up to them. But yeah, some of them are just very.
The server never failed to replace them.
You know. It's
There's a
the
server
fir-
with 30 bots in it. Oh,
I was
Jesus.
quite lucky because in the first day of the Xbox Series X, you couldn't get a full server with crossplay off. Just you couldn't get it. So this server I was in
Yeah.
probably had about 110 bots in it. They were all bots. Everyone.
Ah,
they were all
so you
bots.
could just
So-
okay.
I kind of was able, and they love looking towards the sky. I don't know what it is. And apparently this dude killed me with a spade. I don't see no spade, but yeah. And then in the next one, I was able to. The one bot got in an elevator, and I was able to walk in behind him and just stand in the corner. Well, that's a bit of a bug there that had my way through the floor.
Oh yeah.
I think
But yeah,
actually that the doggos have act the same more or less like the AI somehow, because
Oh, the dogs.
here, look at this. I had this yesterday, or today actually. This morning was my last day. This morning. Here, this dog.
Dogs are so
Here, I'm
terrible.
I'm around this dog all the time.
I love them because they're so stupid.
I jumped
I
in
got
front of
knocked
him.
down, and then he's like, looking at me like, okay, bye. And then my dog just runs away while me and my teammate get killed. I'm like,
I don't know.
worse than my real dog. At least my real dog would be bullet to me.
Doggobot is great to acquire like, as a distraction and to
Yes.
acquire
Yes.
targets
Yes.
3 billion miles away.
Yes,
It's like,
that was
oh,
good.
I see somebody. It's like in the Bravo building all the way on the roof.
yeah.
Yeah.
500 meters, like, oh.
That was the best thing to
Love
store when you're running and then you just start shooting at something. You're like, huh?
Do you
From
think
behind the rock? Yeah.
Do you think the robodogs should give you half an ammo instead of shooting?
They should revive you.
They should actually save your ass when someone's shooting at you.
It
I
would be
like that.
so awesome because it's a call-in that's kind of rare. And only 3 people can have them at a time, I believe. And I think it would be awesome. They just like slowly walk up to you and like sniff you or something, and then you get revived by them. It's like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, it's awesome. But I don't know. They should add that. I think that'd be great. Just as an extra perk. Because right now they're just, instead of calling Ranger, call him Spot. Because that's literally all he does is Spot.
And they've got too much health on them as well. They're just full of health, but they don't do nothing damage-wise.
Yeah,
No.
I never even tried shooting one
No,
down
you
because
don't
I'm
need
like,
to.
I'm gonna run out of bullets by the time I'm done.
You don't need
All
to.
right, guys. Sorry, let's switch to the next topic. We have enough about AI. I think we have so much more interesting to talk about. Sorry, but we have already an hour, and I see like the list of topics we wanted to grab in. They are really important stuff. What do you think? What do you think about the whole UI and menu design? I took a screenshot here also from the in-game screen. Don't look at my score. Well,
Yeah.
so I just took a screenshot here. What do you think about it? Do you think they should improve something? Are you happy with it? Also in the chat, just give me a feedback quick, because I heard very different opinions on that.
For
I
me,
feel like I barely. Sorry, go ahead.
you sure?
Yeah, no, actually, I'll be right back.
For me, okay, whenever it comes back up here again, the right-hand side I have no issue with.
Please, I put it up
But
again.
see the left-hand side?
Here.
You've got a mini-map, you've got the information on the mini-map. See all this stuff here along the top side of the left-hand side where it gives you the flags, sector control, deaths, the tickets. You don't need none of that. I would take all that out. And see the squads, why can't they have that whole side section there as just a scoreboard? You know, let people know where they're at. I kind of like the two sections of it because previously when you bring up the scoreboard, it blocks the whole screen, but you still have an area where you can see when you're running. I miss the scoreboard. I like the scoreboard. I like to know it during the game and whatnot. And one of the things I'm going to be playing with crossplay on is if you have a cheater in the server, do you not like it? When you have a cheater in the server, you will then know instantly, okay, look at the scoreboard, this guy's 60-0 after 5 minutes. You know you've got a cheater in the server. If there's someone cheating right now, you don't really know because you can't flick through and see who else is there in the server with you.
Now think about this, SMK. Why do you think this is?
Why do you think?
Why do you think it's like this? It's super obvious. I don't know if anyone else picked it up. The scoreboard is probably the most toxic thing in the entirety of Battlefield. They got rid of it because they want to eliminate toxicity, right? And eliminate the whole accusation kind of thing. So they hid it away in the escape button.
I think.
But that doesn't make sense. If they say on Portal, it should be possible to basically kick cheaters if you can't see who's cheating.
Yeah, but you got to go and press escape, then hit squad and players, and then you do it.
Obviously, Battlefield is quite...
But you don't have a scoreboard. I don't get it.
Yeah. But I think Battlefield is quite a casual type game, and if you are going, say, 10 and 10, you've got a 1KD. If you then look at the scoreboard and you see someone is friggin' 70 and 5, they're legit, you know, they're doing well, you might think, you know, why am I playing this game? You know, I'm rubbish, I'm not very good. But if you don't really know how you're doing in comparison to other players, you may be more likely to stick around and play the game. And
that's true.
I don't really...
I hate
agree,
it. I hate it.
Agree with that. I accept it's a casual type game, but yeah, some people. I just like the scoreboard. You know, obviously, I normally finish near the top of the scoreboard. That's maybe why I'm saying it. But I just like looking at it. I know I kind of shouldn't look at it because it gets me killed a lot of the time.
Dude,
but I am the person.
There's great information in there.
Yeah.
There's immediate information. Not only with, you know, who you're playing up against, and, you know, maybe you should switch up your tactics because you're playing against a specific group of people, or you know, you're playing with people with really good connections and pings. That situation is really important. The score, see how your team is actually doing, and maybe people can have a sense of improvement. Like, I gotta do better. Like, I gotta switch things up. You got none of that. It is the most non-toxic scoreboard ever in Battlefield. And even if you go to the scoreboard, there's no score. It's just names. And I think it's all placeholder, to be honest. I think it's going to look completely different at launch. But the tab button is completely useless other than kills and deaths. Like, at this point, it's just like, oh, I'm doing okay. That's the only literal. I don't care about the ribbons. I don't care about, what does it say, specials connected? Like, who, you know, like, squads are just weirdly named for some reason, like Inferno Squad, you know, or Grave Digger. Like, what the? All this is ridiculous. I don't understand it. And just put back the score menu, and let's make Battlefield toxic again, man. Come on.
It gives you such helpful information as well, because, like, see, when I get killed by a player, it's like, flip, that was a good shot, or geez, I was one-on-one with him. I normally will win my one-on-ones when there's no other player, but he killed me. I'm like, flip, he was quite a good player. So maybe looking at the scoreboard, if I see a tag, like say there's friggin' 6 or 7 people on the server and they're all running the same tags, in my head, I'll make a note of that player's name. So if I kill that player, right, I'm not moving out of here. His 5 mates are standing around the corner, or could be potentially standing around the corner. So you kind of have an idea of who's playing together in the game. So you know there's a full squad, there's 2 full squads, they're all running the same tags.
Yeah.
You have an idea. You don't know none of that with
No.
this here. None of it.
But
It's
that
just the
makes
least
you.
useful scoreboard that I've ever used. I only think I tabbed
Yeah.
out like once or twice. Like I had no use
But
for being.
It,
this
it
many.
works. It makes people less
Yeah.
toxic. It
Yeah,
works 100% by design. I
Okay,
think.
first question. Did they say they won't bring a score? Because I thought I heard they just didn't bring it for the beta, but it will be coming. Did I
don't know.
misheard?
I think so. I think you're right, Mizzy. I think you're right.
Okay, so Breadafix said earlier, like, how about make it default this way, then allow player to turn on the classic scoreboard or turn it off.
If you can
Sure.
customize it, that'd be great. You know, if people want this,
Sure.
that's fine. But if you can change that whole left side to scoreboard, fantastic. Options is always good. Well, options in that scenario is good. That'd be fantastic.
So,
Mizzy, 177 ping. Where the heck were you playing?
hey, this was not the most. The worst
What?
ping I had was 377. It was crazy. I think I had 2 rounds of everything I played were like 14 ping, like my best ping, in my area, and the rest was like 100 and
Jesus.
top. It was terrible. It was
Did you
really
join-
terrible.
Did you join Bloody? I think he's a South American player.
No, Bloody joined me, but it doesn't
Okay,
matter.
right.
It doesn't. Wait, didn't you had the same issues? Everyone had the same issues. You couldn't.
At the beginning, it connected me to so many random ones because I think they were just spooling up servers just all over the place.
For me, it was all
just
the days,
to-
all 4 days. It connected me randomly somewhere.
Oh wow, that sucks. Yeah, I don't know. I was usually in North America. Rip.
Okay. But the problem, normally I don't have an issue. Like 100 ping is okay for me, but even 100 ping was not really playable. It was weird.
Wow.
It was really weird and laggy for me. I hope they will fix that. So, what's next? What's next?
The UI. I mean, there's more to
UI.
the UI.
Yes,
than this
exactly,
is. Yeah.
exactly. More to the UI. I mean, it's a connection also to what we could talk about or should talk about properly is very important. McKay and the specialist in point of UI. I mean, there were videos we have seen also. Flagfire made a video out of it about the visibility of friendly players and enemy players, right? And you couldn't really make a distinction of them. Do you have a solution in mind for that, or do you think they need to do a drastic change in point of the specialist, so we have like a 2-faction system or something, or do you see any hopes for that at all?
Okay, I'll go first here real quick. Okay, I think anything that needs to be totally revamped is out of the question. I don't want it. I don't want people begging DICE to revamp anything right now. When it comes to revamping stuff for DICE, it usually takes them a long time and it wastes a whole bunch of time when it comes to releasing actual content like maps, weapons, vehicles, and gadgets. And even now, specialists. It is a selling point for specialists. It is an excellent design to make money. The other is to solve an issue that may not have been an insane issue, but it's literally the first thing they brought up. Was like, why did we do specials? Well, we want to do specials to, to free you from the limits of the class system. And, we want you can use any primary weapon you want, And I was like, okay. And he gave like a statistic as to like people picked, sniper class like 90% of the time. Why? Because of the primary weapon, the sniper rifle. Not because of the gadgets or, spawn beacon or the censored ball or whatever. That's what they said. And so this was their answer to that. And I'm like, okay, fine, like whatever, but you can't revamp this. Like it's done. It's literally the first meeting probably at DICE is like, what are we gonna do with the class system, you know? And this is what they came up with. There's no way they're gonna turn back other than tweaking it, right? Tweaking certain things. But yeah, there's I mean, Blackfire had some great ideas when it comes to faction specific clothing. Okay, yeah, that doesn't seem too hard to do.
Well, we had that in Battlefield 3 already, right? I mean, it's
You just lock it, right? Like the standard, like McKay would look one way on default, and then he would look another way on default. That doesn't seem hard to do. Like that seems super easy. Like
just paint
make a
it.
default skin and like paint them two different colors, one with the cowboy hat and one with the regular hat, like distinctly different default. I mean, because they're gonna have so many customization options. You know, everyone's gonna look for, like insane. You know. But then the red decals, we've seen that before in some of the trailers. I don't know if that's a skin, but yeah, Blackfire said like, why not just have like red glowy sticks and red patches to distinguish, you know, who's good or bad right off the bat, like at a quick glance, you know. So I like those ideas, and those sound easy.
Yes, exactly, and that's what we need right now. I
We need
agree.
easy
I absolutely
changes.
agree. What do you think, Gabby?
No, I agree. Yeah, there needs to be some distinction between friendly or enemy, and I usually like to have my UI and stuff set up so that I don't even see friendly outlines. I always see enemy outlines. So like, you know, even having something that other than just that little dot over your head, like something else that tells you who's friendly or enemy. And I like the ideas of having, you know, a red glow stick with a red armband or something like that to differentiate. And I understand why, you know, they're lore. It's you know, you're fighting for whichever side. You're fighting for nobody and for everybody at the same time. But yeah,
Right.
it's weird. Not only the things that got me that like would confuse me a lot, or were my only sources of confusion for this game was, is that a friendly, and is that a smart friendly or a smart enemy? Is that a dumb AI? Is that a smart AI? Like, it just, other people in the field, I didn't know whether they were supposed to be like friendly or enemy or smart or dumb. Like, it just felt like everyone was a bot to me at one point, except for the ones that shot me. So yeah, I definitely agree on having some sort of distinction between the factions. Or
Well, but then
teams.
again, it was a beta. I mean, we all were dumb. We all played a beta, right? I mean,
And we were limited to 4 characters, which is also, you know, a beta issue too. We're gonna have
which is the
10
next
at
topic.
launch.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Segue.
Exactly. But before we do that, SMK, do you have anything to?
Well, for me personally, like I didn't have like the issue telling players apart because I don't know. I was always like moving my crosshair around, hovering over players. You know, even at a distance, like if you actually held your crosshair over a player, well, when I say held, you didn't really have to hold it. You know, their name, and you could see it came up orange, came up above their head. But for me, it's never really been a non-issue, even in Battlefield 5, because I always reduced the soldier icon capacity for my friendly soldiers. I always dropped it down to 50%, and then just, you know, you got used to that. It just became automatic. You know, that's a friendly, that's an enemy. Obviously, you weren't able to do that in the beta, but it's one thing I'd always recommend in the settings to quickly tell players apart. Reduce the icon capacity. It even helps whenever you're shooting through players. You don't have that block of their name above your head. You can see through it. You know, it's just something that's really helpful. It's one of those wee things you don't think about changing, but it makes a big difference. Same with icons. Any icons, reduce their opacity a little bit, and they don't block your view. And that's the one thing that did annoy me. But we're talking about the UI a little bit. Seeing a player downed 600 meters way over there through the mountain, I don't need to know that. You know, I'm not getting over there to fix him or getting him up or whatnot. You know, hopefully they can do something about that. You don't need to know your squad mate is away over there at the other end of the map and they're downed, and you see this big, huge revive symbol above their head. There was kind of too much on screen for me, and I hope they can do something about that. You know.
K-Rose said that earlier as well. Like, it was weird. If you're down, you couldn't see if there was a medic around. right?
Yes, you don't know if your teammate's coming to pick you up, so
Exactly.
I counted a lot.
So yeah, I love the Battlefield 5 thing where it
Yeah.
shows how many meters away your squad mates are. They need that. It's really good that they had that. They ended up patching that in Battlefield 5 later in its release, and they tweaked it a few times as to like how far. Like it was like a limit of like 50 meters, and then
Yeah,
they
but that's enough.
increased, I
That's all
think.
you needed.
That's all you need. Yeah, yeah, it's great. They should totally bring that back. In the beta with the UI right now, it highlights Marias in blue that aren't on your squad, and they also highlight in green or like outline in green your squad mates, and that they can revive you. That's cool. It's odd, but it's cool. I like that. But just add the other thing as well, just to get a bearing. And it might keep squads together. Who knows? But there are some UI elements when it comes to like reviving. It's just not. You just don't know if they're enemies or not unless they're highlighted or outlined.
What other elements when we're talking about the UI are you missing? Because I saw now, I think Brad was bringing
So
something
much.
up. Yes, go ahead. So much. What's
Oh,
popping?
the
What's popping into your mind? What's the first thing that
There's
pops into your mind?
no. There's no squad. There's no squad UI element. You can't change squads or anything like that. You can't there's no customization at all. You can't customize your plus system. You can't customize your gun or your outfit. Like all that's gone.
Sorry. Give me a second. I need to mute that. I can't hear
Why,
you.
why can't I shoot?
Oh, it's okay.
What happened? I can't shoot.
Okay, muted.
Now I have no doubt that they will bring back a squad like in a customization. It just was not in the beta. Okay. But yeah. Anyway, back to reviving real quick. Yeah, that's a huge
Exactly. That's
problem,
why I brought
right,
it up.
Lizzie?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a big problem. I'm sure they're gonna fix it. It seems easy fix. Just there's no feedback. I need a little bit more feedback as to when I was revived, and the slowness of when you get back up from a revive is very jarring and weird. It's like,
It is.
why can't I move, bro? Like, what the fuck?
I actually had multiple issues in this scene. Yeah. First, I couldn't shoot. You see me running there, and I tried to shoot, and it didn't. Nothing happened. The trigger, nothing happened. And then look at that.
Oh, it's weird.
Now 2 shoots at the two. First none, and then 2. I was like,
Just
what?
shoot.
Then I tried to revive, and I tried it 3 times, and after the 3rd time, I think I could do it. And I think the biggest issue with the revive was you either picked up the gun of the dude,
Yeah. Icon beggar.
or you couldn't succeed with the revive. What solutions do you have for that? Should they switch the buttons, or should they?
There's the hold, right? You
What?
could do that, like the hold.
The hold?
to pick up. Hold to pick up weapon, right? Isn't that a thing already in there?
I could switch the
So
button
it's the
layout
same.
on my
It's the
end.
same binding. That's the problem. It's the
Yeah,
same
it's the same.
binding,
It's
and
the
the
same
gun.
binding. Yeah.
The gun is falling right underneath where you need to revive. So they can change like where the gun placement is when someone dies. So it's like off to the side or something.
I mean, I could switch it manually also. Then it
I
doesn't
don't know,
matter
man.
really.
They're developers. They have Battlefield 5 seems to be working fine. They have Battlefield 4 seems to be working fine. Yo, what are they doing over there? Why is reviving so bad? Like, do you guys not remember how to code that from previous games? Like, it should be instant for Maria. It should be like, zzz, bam, done. You're good. Next, you get like a little, feedback from audio and everything. They totally blew it. This is so odd and just.
It was just weird
how this
because
ended
it was
up like
just
this.
it was just really weird if you look back also to Battlefield 5. Like medic is the one class like most of the people played. Like medic was like the total OP class, and now it's like
Nobody revives. It's a
somehow
joke.
yeah.
They do this quite a lot. I've noticed between Battlefield games. There's this kind of class, like you look at Battlefield 1, and when you look at the guns, you say the medic class had in Battlefield 1, a lot of long range stuff, it was really, they got used to that. And then when they go to Battlefield 5, there's no long range ones, it's all SMGs, and then you have all those medics, kind of complaining about that. You know, it started Battlefield, like, medic's useless, we can't do anything, all these maps are massive. And then they got used to the whole smoke, the whole reviving in smoke, the smoke spam meta. And then you then come to this game, and now it's changed again. Revives are so much more riskier, and they've changed it up. It's, you know, it's different again. And of course, you're going to get a lot of then fallout from that. I don't know why. If they're going to do paddles, just buzz, you know, up you get, off we go. You know, I don't know why.
Yeah, no
They
animations.
yeah, they
Weird,
like-
dude.
And did you ever get the third person animation? So you got revived, and then you seen your character get up,
Oh yeah,
run
yeah,
off,
yeah.
and you're like, what the heck's going on here? And then all of a sudden your screen changes to you running. It's like you're looking down from above, like your god or something. You see someone friggin' they're being revived, and as you that person you see getting up and running off is you. You just don't realize you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I had that multiple times.
I think it's because in the play test, everyone reported, you know, and obviously some people, you obviously seen the footage from the play test, someone shooting someone from like friggin' 50 meters away with the gun and reviving them. That is understandable. Like, say, if you're within 5 meters of someone, you have to be within 5 meters before you can revive them. You know, you have to be quite close to them. So at least if you kill a player, you see there's no one else there, you're not going to expect to try and come around that corner then, and that player's alive because someone shot them with the cinder, what do you call it, the revive syringe or whatever it's called.
Surette pistol, yeah.
Red pistol, yeah. You know, you're not going to expect. I think that's the biggest problem. People were killing players, and then they were running past them, and then the next second, that person was alive behind them because someone way over there was able to pick them up. I think that was the issue. But of course, you know, dice being dice, nerf things into the ground. They always seem to struggle with this balancing it. They always tend to go from one. I had an 88 meter revive in the tech test. Yeah, I think that's why they did it. Now you have to be standing right over the person for a 3-second revive. It's too much. It's too much.
I like you guys know who Stade is?
Yeah.
He had an interesting idea on Twitter of like some sort of charging of the Surette pistol or multiple darts that are fired at someone and then can be revived. What do you guys think about that? I thought it was like charging up the pistol and then zapping someone and give it some bullet drop or something. I don't know.
Like
That'd be
it needs
interesting.
to change. Yeah, so I think the pistol should revive personally, just not at the range it was before. Like, just bring it down a little bit. If you have
Interesting.
to charge up. I
So
still
like a
don't think-
limit?
Yeah, like I don't think it should be. Well, I wouldn't put like a limit on it, as in like, you know. Obviously, you can't revive 5 people in 5 seconds, nothing like that. But I still think if you're going to be able to revive someone, you can't be 88 meters away from them, within like a certain distance, 10 meters, 5 meters, and as long as I think the pistol should revive. I think it should. I like the sound of it, but
let's kind of put ourselves into breakthrough now, and you have that option to revive. That might be a little busted, no? I mean, especially if you only need one Surette pistol. And there's a lot of Marias around, which usually, or even Angels, is the other support guy I think we're going to learn about soon. It looks like he can revive too. So you're going to have like 2 different types of supports out there reviving people. I don't know. It might be a weird balance issue when it comes to breakthrough.
I thought he was going to.
I wish they would have brought us breakthrough actually for the beta, so we could
Yes.
see
He's going
that.
to be the guy to give out armor.
Armor, yeah. No, I don't think he's going to have a Surette pistol. That's not what I meant.
I think,
But he can revive. Apparently, this is all speculation.
Yeah.
Apparently, he can revive people just like Maria can. Everyone.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows? Like, obviously, this is obviously a 2-month-old build. They've probably played this with all the other specialists in, and there's maybe some imbalance there because they've made it this way. Because if they were to change things to what we're suggesting, then you put all those other specialists in the mix, it could then be imbalanced. So we don't know yet, again,
Yes.
but Yeah, we don't know. We don't know, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
It
even
could
even
become
about
imbalanced.
like now we saw like more or less like I mean I don't know 2/3 of the people who were running was McKay, right? Everyone
Yeah.
wanted to use the grapple
Yes.
hook. So
Yes.
and I think a lot of people were thinking like, oh my God, what happens at launch? You know, is it like is that balanced if everyone is running with the same specialist? Or so it looks weird. There's so many negative views on it, and then we have 10 specialists. Um, do you think they should nerf it in a way, the grapple hook, like maybe time it a little bit different, or
Nah,
or
No,
it's perfect. I love it.
I think
love it
the
too,
one
yeah.
thing that I
Don't
was
touch
really,
it.
yeah,
It's good.
I was really impressed with it because it worked nearly every single time. I
Yeah,
wanted to go
it's
there
great.
at work to get up. I expect it. Okay, I'm going to try and grapple hook up onto this building. I'm going to slam into the side of the building and fall to the ground. It worked quite well in that he always seemed to climb up every time.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I still tried to, sometimes kind of grapple hook onto that. I think what Gabby was talking about it earlier on. You're not sometimes too sure when you can grab hold of something distance-wise. So being able to change the color of the thing, maybe,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
let you know, okay, correct distance, you can now shoot it to grab hold of this, would be ideal. I think it's good. I think it's
Yeah.
good.
What do you think about the, can I say, it's like a little bit like Apex slide mechanic they brought in now? Do you like it? Because what I heard today was that they're already, like we got an old version, right? Of the beta, okay? It's not the up-to-date version. And I think I read today that one of the core software engineers said that they implemented already more penalties to the slide system, which means basically you can't spam it, then it gets weaker, sliding uphill, and turning around as well. Do you want to see the changes of the movement, or are you happy the way they are? What
Happy
about
the way they are. Don't touch them.
Well, they
It's
already
good.
did, but
It's good. Change it back. Yell at them. Stop. Slide's fine. The movement's fine. Even when people are like dancing around, I can still hit them. It's not insane. We can't be catered to, Reddit people and stuff. Like, trust me, it's good. All right. I talked to the best players in the world. They like it, and they're already getting mad because someone's talking about, oh, we're changing it because you can spam it or whatever. Just
they already did.
really nice. It's really nice right now. And it's one of the saving graces of the beta. Don't touch it.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm not happy with it.
Well, it's
Don't
still
touch it.
fast. I don't
I'm-
know. I mean, we don't know how much they really turn it on.
I'm on
Sorry,
the
Gabby.
extreme side of the spectrum where I'm like, it's not enough. Give me more. I want to slide down this entire mountain with one press of
Hell
button.
yeah.
Bring it here. That's what I want to do. Like while you're spawning, you're going down to sea, and there's like that like little steep like drop off. There's a little
Yeah.
LA4C. I just want to slide that down that mountain.
Yeah, like in Apex and
I just want to say
in
that it's really
declines,
like
right?
Apex, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
That'll be
very-
cool. That'll be cool if you could do that. Yeah.
I
I want more. Give me more. More
I
movement.
think it's a
I-
trend in games now, and people don't
It
want
is.
to move with that. You know, it's like fast movement. Like some people, like, I've seen some of the stupidest stuff. Like the heavier your weapon, the slower
Makes
you
a specialist
run,
with rollerblades.
and all this kind of stuff.
Hell
like,
yeah.
Like you can't have like that kind of stuff in a game like Battlefield. It's a super casual game. All the whole trend now, all the successful games, Call of Duty, Apex Legends, they're all really fast movement where you can, you're kind of not limited by what you can climb up or where you can move to and what you can do. And that's the way games are moving these days. And some people just don't like that. They want the really sluggish type controls about moving around, and it's all slow, and it's just not, it's not fun. That's what they might like, and it's what Battlefield may, I didn't play Bad Company 2 Battlefield, all the way back then, but I'm guessing it was really sluggish movement. It's not ideal. It wouldn't work in today's setting. I just feel that people still want that, and it's just not going to work. Battlefield, DICE, EA want to sell a video game. They want to attract Call of Duty players. And if the movement's not there, they're never going to attract those players. Call of Duty is the biggest first-person shooter franchise on the planet, you know, they're going to want people to buy it. And if you can't slide, if you're running around and you can't evade bullets and jump and all this kind of, they're not going to buy it. You know.
Yeah.
They won't buy it.
Movement. Are we done with movement? We're all happy.
Yeah,
think
don't
movement-
touch it.
I think movement is the one thing, you know, we don't need to argue a lot about, right?
Yeah. Hey, I got an idea, Mizzy, for a specialist if you want to hear it.
Yes. Why are you asking for permission?
When it comes, when it comes to like movement, now check this out. So, I predict that they will release an Android specialist. Yes, and his specialty is that he can jump really high. Like instead of grapple, he can just jump.
He jumps, jump arms up. That's actually that makes sense.
Jump, right? And then when I don't know what else he would do. Maybe just yell at people or something. But when he dies,
no, he talks. He talks like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he can talk like him. He have an accent.
Bring me the
funny.
chopper.
But like when the android dies, he like falls apart, and like his arms fall off and lays, and he goes like in a robot voice, you know.
I
You
love
pick up
that.
his parts for scraps and bullets and stuff. You just go scavenge his body. Like, I could use this for my gun.
Yeah, hell yeah. I wouldn't know what to name the robot, but or the android. But he will look like something like Chappie, you know?
Yeah,
You know,
Well-
Chappie.
Gabytron5000 is fine.
Oh yeah. Perfect. Oh, I bet you, man.
Oh,
They'll
damn.
do it. They'll do it.
I love it.
Anyway, sorry.
I love it.
Could you ever imagine if they brought like players teleporting around to like Apex? Can you imagine? Can you imagine outcry on Reddit? I'd go just for.
Just to watch him cry.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not too far away. Damn, that's great. Okay, we have movement. We have, what about gunplay? Did we talk about that video? Did we? I can't remember. Did we talk about? Yeah, we brought it up quick, right?
Briefly brought it up.
Briefly.
About me
Let's-
trying to talk about working out like the gun mechanics. You know, what have they implemented into it, and it's just hard to work it out. You know, it's hard to like how have they implemented spread. You know, the recoil patterns don't seem to be as varied as they used to be. You know, they do seem to have more of a trend, so they don't seem to have applied the spread to the recoil patterns anymore as much. But it doesn't feel like Battlefield 1 either. It's strange. I can't work it out. And I've seen other people, like, they were hoping to do the same kind of thing. I think Enders was trying to work it out as well. But again, I haven't heard much more from him about it. It's hard. I don't know how they've implemented it. It's strange because it seems different to me. You had a clip there of someone using the LMG,
Yes.
and they change from using the scope
Yes.
to then using the acuity sight, and you can just see like no hit markers with that scope.
Wait a
But when they
second.
changed to the LMG, like that was my experience.
Give me a sec.
Yeah, no worries. That was just my experience
I
with every
think
weapon.
I think my kid woke up and is behind my green screen. Give me a second.
No problem.
you
We'll
just
talk
go
about,
on,
we'll talk about
I'm-
gunplay.
Yes, and I just bring up this video quick, and then I go. Give me a second. Where is it? There.
Yeah, like what did the SGUs feel between using scopes and like the acuity sight? I just felt that it just felt really really bad. Like
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
felt
you know,
really bad.
no.
Like, it's as if the spread on the scopes is greater than the spread
100%.
on like
100%.
the times one. It's just felt really strange to me.
I don't like the I played the crap out of the LMG.
Yeah, it's a good
And
weapon. Yeah.
I ended up well it's not like the best weapon like the M5 or whatever, you know, when it comes to like how often you kill people, but the LMG ended up being pretty fun with iron sights. I ended up going with I didn't like the Coyote because I kept losing, it's too close to the barrel, like the red dot, so I kept losing targets and whatnot. And the 4x is completely useless because the recoil is too much and it's just too intense. But yeah, iron sights were great on it. It felt good. I can get a lot of kills. I use Boris a lot because I liked his wall hack ability with his turret, and they can outline people.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. It was. I felt like it was almost overpowered, but
It's good whenever you can stay within the circle. You know, the circle around it works better. I don't think a lot of people realize that. They placed it.
yeah,
And then, you know, if you actually stay within that kind of circle region, it works so well. Like even, yeah, it tells you where players kind of are when they're not even visible.
yeah. It's a interesting turret.
Yeah.
It doesn't really kill much, but yeah, I agree with that whole UI of the turret, that little circle. People don't read, so they're not going to
Yeah.
notice that, and it doesn't seem like anything's changing in or out of the circle. Like, it shouldn't even be a circle. It should be like a something feedback, something that just works, some kind of feedback saying like, hey, get closer, you're going to get more points, or like, I don't know, I wouldn't know where to start with that. But the little circle around there is just so little information. It almost seems cookie cutters. Like, no one's gonna do that, like, naturally. No one's naturally gonna be next to a turret that's making all this noise and, firing a big ass machine gun. Like, it's give your position away, right? So I don't know. There needs to be a little bit more feedback on that, for sure.
I'm not too sure if this. I guess it is part of the gunplay about appearing on the minimap without your suppressor. I'm not the biggest fan, to be honest with you. Yeah, I know some people like it, but I hated it in Battlefield 4 personally. I don't know what the rest of you think. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
You know,
you're
as-
you're appearing once you're shooting, you're appearing on the minimap right now, right?
yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about it? I mean, it's good against campers. People in the
Yeah,
bush.
but as someone like me,
It's-
you know,
it's weird, yeah.
Obviously, this clip here of me, you know, it got me quite a lot of kills, but it's probably couldn't see it. Whenever I first moved onto the flag, it was 4 against 18, so I'm not running a suppressor here. So, and they spawn over to this left-hand side, so they constantly know where I'm at, and someone just spawned there and just killed me. But yeah, I'm not a fan of it personally. I think though, once all the specialists and whatnot are all here, I think there's so many ways you can be spotted on the map, and hopefully if they prove the visibility a little bit as well, I just think there's going to be so many ways you can be spotted on this map. I started using the, you know, the, what do you call it, wee recon balls.
Yeah,
They're so handy.
they're really good.
They're good at helping, you know, whenever players, especially I started using them on that flag there as well and throwing them out to spawn, so I kind of got an idea when someone was moving in. You know, there's just many ways where you can be spotted, and I think shooting.
I think you have a great point. I think you have a great point there because, after looking at all the specialists, 4 of them out of the 10 have inherent spotting abilities,
Yeah.
and
True.
everyone has options for spotting abilities, like the balls you mentioned. You got the Robo Dog that can, well, maybe not spot, but at least acquire a target, then shoot in a general direction, which is basically a spot. And
the recon drone.
the drone, yeah, the drones for Casper, and he has a spotting sensor inherent.
Miss suit.
Yeah.
Then you
I
got
think-
Boris's turret, yeah,
And I think, you know, like whenever like the other guys come, like Rao, like he's hacking. So who goodness knows what he can hack to help players appear on the map. It's just like a speculation.
exactly.
You know?
Apparently, yeah, another speculation is that he spots enemies adjacent to his kills. So every time you kill somebody, someone next to him gets spotted.
Minimap,
you,
so
you might have a point here, and I also think adding Q spotting back might be a little dangerous because then everyone's going to be spotted. I feel like at that point, it's just too much.
True.
yeah,
So
I would like, yeah, I don't know.
We'll have to
but
see.
I doubt they're going to change it because, you know, they've put it in the game suppressor. If what would it be the point of then having suppressors in the game? You know, the whole point of them is they built them into the game so that they don't spot you on the minimap. Who would use them then? If that feature was taken out. I don't see it changing, but again, yeah, I'm not a fan of spotting whenever you're shooting your weapon. That's just the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're trying to be aggressive, push objectives, and the first couple of days I went with it, but then you're having to think about it as well. Some people say it's tactical. Say I'm approaching this objective. I now seen a player running onto the objective. I can kill him. However, if I shoot and kill him, I'm moving into that area, into an kind of open space to get into that building. How many players are going to see me now running because I've now been marked on the minimap? So you kind of have to let that player go so that you can get into cover first. It's a casual game. I don't really want to be thinking about that, to be honest with you. I just want to kill that player, move on to the flag, kill more players, and constantly having players know where you're at because you're shooting your weapon, trying to play the objective. I don't agree with it.
Okay.
How do you feel about the snipers? Or the sniper? I mean, we only had one, but it just felt like it was really, really difficult to snipe. Like the bullet drop was insane. You know, there was like the muzzle velocity, you know, was really low.
I tried the DMR and I tried the sniper, but I've never been much of a sniper player anyways,
Same.
or an accuracy player. So
I was
I was
hoping
trying to
you
get the
guys-
hang of bullet drop and, you know, all that stuff. But I was like, I can do this when the game comes out. Right now, I just want to blow stuff up and run around. Like, so,
Yeah.
well, personally, let's go watch some Stoddy clips if you want some good sniping.
Dude, people seem to have a lot of fun with sniping. I've seen some crazy clips of people just doming people one after another.
I saw it too, but
So
I
it
saw
can't be that
also many
bad,
people.
right?
I saw also many people completely the opposite, like complaining about it. And I can't have an opinion really on it because I'm not much of a sniper.
They gotta get good. They gotta get good.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I was getting sniped randomly as much. I don't know if maybe players in my lobbies weren't sniping or anything, but it didn't feel like other battlefields I felt before where you had like snipers on the entire team and you were just getting sniped and you couldn't even react to it. I did see like a scope glint maybe once. I didn't see a lot of like, you know, snipers hiding in hills with that scope glint, but
I usually try to snipe the snipers with my rocket launcher.
yeah, that's a good way to do it. I've done that before too.
It worked almost every time.
Rocket launcher is very nice, very deadly.
Yeah, but I only saw like the good sniper videos I saw from PC players. I didn't see anything really from console players. But I mean that doesn't mean they aren't there. I'm just wondering if sniping is on PC different than on console, or you can have more fun there, or I don't know. It's just generally easier because of
You
the
have a
mouse and
mouse,
keyboard.
Yeah, you can acquire targets faster,
I think
flick shots, but yeah.
I think it partly relates to as well. Like in Battlefield 5, snipers on console were, they had a lot of aim assist. They had both the snap aim assist as well as the slowdown aim assist. So a lot of players will have gotten used to that. And kind of moving on to like probably something we want to talk about comparisons again as well. There was very little aim assist in the beta. Like there was no snap, and there was a touch of slowdown. And I think a lot of snipers probably rely on that now. They've just got used to it in Battlefield 5. And then whenever you're kind of going to a game and you're only getting to play it, 3 or 4 days, if you're in part of the early access, if you don't have that and you've got one shot to get that kill, you know, and it was with a weapon that had atrocious bullet velocity on it, you know, I think a lot of people struggled with it. I didn't like the weapon. As soon as I started firing it, I was like, no way, I'm changing this straight away. This is trash. Because then I've seen the glint. I think the glint's a bit too much. It's literally, you know, even if you're not paying attention to that area, as soon as you see that, it's like, whoa, he's over there. You know, I felt bad for the snipers because that scope glint was probably a bit too much. I'm not a sniper. I don't like snipers. So this is, you know, whenever I'm saying I felt bad for them, I think they had a hard time on console, particularly because the weapon was trash for me personally. I didn't like it. I think it was absolutely trash. And then the scope glint, I think it's a bit too much. I would reduce that. And they should have put in they put in 2 versions, maybe one that's more for medium distance, which that sniper rifle was. You know, it's medium distance and a big, huge map, and then one with
Yeah, they
really
had no
bullet velocity.
radiant style optics as well. Like
Yeah, it was
nothing.
strange. It was a strange choice, to be honest. I don't know why they didn't put
And no
in,
bipod option, right?
you know,
It was-
like a sniper for proper. It's got great bullet velocity on it. It's got good for distance. You know, because you've seen people up them towers near that rocket, and they
Yeah.
would have been hitting friggin' nothing. Not unless you're friggin' study up there sniping. Like them guys probably got no kills whatsoever. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
a great weapon to use.
Character models are pretty small
Yeah, they
too.
are.
So, and the FOV, that's weird, dude. I had to like lower it because I couldn't see anybody. I was like, damn, everyone's so tiny. Especially with like the helicopters in the distance, they looked like such small targets, but when they got really close, they're like massive. You know, I don't know. It's kind of weird issues. But anyway, since we're talking about sniping, there's
Yes.
that aim sensitivity bug that
Oh,
people are
really?
talking about. Did you guys hear about that?
No. Go ahead.
So apparently some guy was testing some things in Kovacs, which is how do
Yeah,
you say it? Like
the
a
aim-
like a
Aim
simulator-
trainer.
aim trainer kind
Aim
of thing.
trainer.
And so he programmed it to where he's moving his mouse like I guess artificially to do a 180, and it should land in the same spot every single time you do it, right? And he did the same thing in Battlefield, but it would end up in a different spot almost every time. So there's some sort of like alignment issue or something was not working correctly with the sensitivity, and then it's completely bugged. So I don't know. It has some sort of input lag issue going on, and it looks like they know about it. DICE knows about it, so
Well,
I mean,
I heard also, and I mean, I'm not a PC player, but I heard that the whole sensitivity thing, like the settings, were different, completely different from Battlefield 2042 to Battlefield 5. Why didn't they just, I don't know, like implement the
that's
settings?
some sort of bug. I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, it's just
Every
different.
time. Like dead zones are different every time. Like I don't know what they had. That the dead zones were on console were set to something ridiculously high. It was very strange. I don't know.
I didn't even touch them, to be honest, this
Yeah,
time.
the dead zones were very. I honestly don't understand like why they changed them between every game. It's
Can you
just-
explain to me what dead zones means? I don't know.
So see, whenever a lot of people don't like, some people don't want their joystick. So whenever you've got, where's the extra controller here?
No.
So some people, you know, whenever they've got their controller, they don't want like really limited movement to do anything. So you have to push your stick out quite far before it does anything. So if you've got a really low dead zone, the slightest movement initiates a player to move.
Ah.
Okay, so some people, these were really high. So if you had it set low in Battlefield 5 and they were quite high in the beta, you know, you might end up realizing, why is my character not moving? You actually have to push your stick quite far. The only issue with it is if they're quite low, sometimes joysticks, the joystick isn't centered anymore. So it's naturally, you know, over wear and tear, it's slightly off. So it might move on its own, and it's called like stick drift. But yeah, the weirdest ones, it's the biggest change I've ever seen. And then they didn't even include some settings either. There's different types of dead zones in it as well. It was very strange. Very strange. The whole settings were strange. Sure, like they said with the field of view, it was weird. Then the field of view, whenever you're sliding and whatnot as well, was weird. when
Oh,
you're
Yeah.
sliding and-
I think they should get rid of that. I don't know about what you guys think, but it's kind of weird looking, and I don't know. I think
It
they should
is.
probably just get rid of it.
It is weird looking. Brad, what video did you send? Something I should post in here, or did I miss something? I'm confused. It was probably only for you, SMK.
I think it's.
I'm,
I sent the video in a whisker. Oh, okay. Yes, I see it now. Hold on.
The random sensitivity. Oh yeah. The one
random
Oh,
sense-
the thing I was talking about.
okay.
Yes. Oh yes, I did see that one. Yes.
All right. So, I mean, there's nothing we can say about this. I mean, the one sentence which actually sticks in my head is again, I think Ollie said that about something that Joe's posted. In the end, we don't know what game we get when it's launching. We don't know what changes we will have to talk about then, you know, what they will change or fix or.
Yeah, here we go again. Battlefield 5, like
It's
barely any time for change anything.
the only thing we can say
don't
now
know.
is okay, we have seen that, you know, we have recognized it, and now we need to wait again, right? Do you have the feeling? Okay, this is maybe a big question, but do you have the feeling they will be ready at launch? And what do you think? Like, I mean, they already delayed a month. Do you think like, oh, please just delay a little bit more because then we get a, I don't know. How do you feel about it? I mean, in the end, we don't know anything anyways. You know, it's more like a hinge. What's your gut feeling telling you guys?
The amount of, I mean, this is such a small sliver of things they're gonna release according to them. I mean, not only do we got 7 maps in All Out Warfare, you also got 6 more in Portal, and then you have Hazard Zone, and then you have
Which we don't know
everything in
anything
Portal.
about still.
Then you have up to 14 specialists by the end of 1 year, and more maps like this one called Ridge. That another map, like they. There's so much feedback coming in just for one map, and so many weird little issues that the chances of them nailing a release is like almost impossible at this point. There's going to be issues at launch in a month. I mean, there's only so much they can change, even though it is a 2-month-old beta or whatever the hell. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's just they keep doing this. Like they keep not giving enough play tests. There should be way more play tests for the closed them out of the public, or like kind of like what they did for the alpha test or whatever. They just need to keep it going, do more and more every day, and get more feedback from their game changers or creative network or whatever it's called now.
Okay.
It's just they don't give enough time.
I have a stupid question right now because somebody said like they don't have enough time actually to implement everything they've seen in the beta. Does it even matter what they have seen if they gave us an old version? Technically, I mean, like, I mean they let us play an old version. How can you? I mean, everything is connected, right? If you.
I feel.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel that this test will have identified a lot of issues for them. And I said this, what I'm about to say, ages ago. There's games out there on Steam that release in, what's it called? It's like closed. The game hasn't officially released, but
like an early access kind of thing.
Where people are playing it every day, and there's a private Discord for it. It probably would undo some of the hype for the game when it eventually releases, but it's just people are constantly playing it, identifying bugs, like us, the community, the players. Like I feel Battlefield would, people are going to call for the CTE here with this kind of thing, but effectively is that where before the game releases, there's 4 or 5 months where players are playing it, they could be under NDA, whatever, and they're identifying the issues. Like, DICE probably hasn't had this big influx of information, even in-house with their own playtests. They probably haven't identified anywhere near as much as what the community has over these last 4 days. And I think that would help them have a better release for future games by players being able to play it, identify the bugs, and giving them the feedback on it. And then they can start maybe going in the right direction instead of, we're 1 month before release here, right? We've identified these bugs, we need to fix these before then going on what we think about the gameplay and map changes or changes to specialists. They're going to have to go to the bugs. They're probably going to be preoccupied from now until release with all these bugs. So, yeah, I just feel being able to release it, even if it is only to PC players on early access, and being able to play the game for the 4 months up to release to see what works, get the feedback, you know. Like, I was involved in something kind of like that with, what do you call it, Battlefield 1 Incursions. There had its own Discord. They were, you know, it was competitive players were in it. It was freaking fantastic. The interaction we had with the developers on that there was great. Of course, it didn't, you know, come to Battlefield 5 because literally they tried to take on too much stuff. You know, friggin' trying to build a comp mode, trying to fix the game, trying to do not a season pass, but you know, to try and keep up to date with what they promised, Firestorm and all that. They took on too much. But you know, that time talking to the developers about what we liked, the bugs we found in Incursions, it was good, and I think it worked well, and I think Battlefield 2042 would benefit from that.
It reminds me, what Edgar says reminds me of making websites with WordPress. Has any one of you ever made a website with WordPress?
Yeah.
Did you give up eventually on it and switch to, in German we say Baukastensystem, like other systems like Squarespace or whatever? Because like with WordPress, it's like this. You want to go into the coding and change something specific and fix it so it is exactly like this. Then it will break the fucking website, and in the end, you just go back to the main tool and give up on it. And it reminds me a little bit what he said. It's like you're trying to fix something, and then it's getting worse eventually. I don't know. I just would like to understand, but I completely like your idea what you said, SMK. And I'm the only thing I was asking myself in my head is, don't they have like internal play testers all along who are testing all the time?
Yeah.
So what's the
Apparently
difference?
they test every day.
So what's the difference if they have that already?
Public.
Yeah, but public, you have thousands upon thousands. Like, how many would they have internally? I don't know. 20? 30?
Yeah, probably something like that.
And yeah, they all have to coordinate too.
There's
Probably all over the
nothing
world.
like, you know, like us going in there. Like, gamers are literally the most intuitive people at finding ways to friggin', you know, give themselves the advantage by finding this way of doing things, you know, like how, like people that found all those like bugs in Battlefield 5 to improve their movement, you know, pushing their hitboxes into the ground when they were doing friggin' jumps and snaking around, like they aren't going to find that kind of stuff, to be honest with you. I just find gamers like us, the community, are just experts at finding ways, you know, to glitch out the game, you know, and identify bugs.
Yep.
And like, I honestly don't think they'll have had this amount of information and stuff to like fix bugs like that they've had this past 4 days. And if they had that in the 4 or 5 months in the lead up, constantly getting this, I think the game would release in a far better state. But of course, that decreases the hype for the game, because if you are going to get leaks, far more leaks. If people are under NDAs, it might decrease the hype because people are now seeing this and that.
Yeah.
But you know, you have to.
We just want a functional, we just want a functional game at launch, man. Like, it's all people wanted, for especially coming from Battlefield 5. They just want a game that works and fully featured, just like they promised. And you know, then it comes down to the communication, where they were doing great for 2042. And then all of a sudden, they just fell off the face of the earth for like 2 or 3 weeks. And we're like, where all that momentum go? And then they're like, oh, and then the next thing we hear is the game has been delayed. It's like, damn it, dude, what the heck? Like, this sucks. It must be really crappy for them, too.
Yes.
Like, I don't think any of them would want any of this to happen. But I would be so sad if they ended up delaying it again. I'd be really sad. It must be really hard for developers just in general today when they go through something like that. A delay is just, nobody wants that, you know.
No.
Not to get us too off topic or whatever, but how do you guys think a 3-year development cycle is enough for Battlefield, or would you like to see it have more time?
No,
I would like to see it be a longer development cycle. I don't think 3 years has been the magic number for them these last couple games.
Well, what was it? I think it was even less between what was it? It was between Battlefield. Was it 2 between Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5? And then obviously we've seen that wasn't enough because as we know the way the state Battlefield 5 release. But yeah, it has been 3 years. I think they would have been fine if they'd brought all those teams on. But then we heard, what was it? It was in February, March time. They said we're ahead of schedule, but it was in and around that time they brought.
Yep,
Was it
I
Criterion
remember.
in? And then we found out they were going to release the mobile game, and it was someone working on it. Then we heard, well, at the time we didn't know about Portal, but then obviously Dice EA rebranded Ripple Effects were coming on board. We now know that's Portal. They've been working on. They brought on the Battlefront team into it and whatnot, so they've delayed Need for Speed to bring them on board with it.
Yeah.
And then even with all that, over the last 6-7 months, it still hasn't seemingly been enough. Yeah. The thing about it is, just imagine how it would have been if they hadn't have decided to end support for Battlefield. Everyone said this could be a good thing whenever they stopped supporting Battlefield 5 back last year. Was it last year?
Yeah,
Was that?
it was
Last
more
year?
than a year ago.
Yeah, and we're just doing over it more. Imagine how it would be right now if they hadn't have done that, you know? We wouldn't be releasing this year. No way.
True.
Yeah.
So,
It's just the project here is just so ambitious.
yeah.
It's the first time we've ever done anything like 120 players in Battlefield history. It's the first time we've ever done these 3 different types of experiences at once. Portal is probably the most requested thing in Battlefield history, period. Like ever since its like beginnings. They've always wanted a culmination of all the Battlefields in one. And, you know, so I brought up this point a long time ago, you know, when before Battlefield 2042 was released, I thought Portal, what it is now, would essentially be the game. It would just be a whole bunch of remasters. I know that someone leaked, or it was a leak that Battlefield 3 is going to get remastered.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that ended up in Portal. You got like 2 remastered Battlefield 3 maps in there. And I think how they're going forward is maybe they won't need as much time. They just needed more time to build this, you know, their Fortnite, you know, their Warzone kind of thing, where they can just keep that structure and then just kind of keep adding to it more and more. And I think that's what Portal is. Hopefully they'll keep up with that because that'll be fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think All Out Warfare, for what we know, that's 2042.
Mm-hmm.
Portal is some remastered and 2042. So if when the next game comes out in a couple years, you'll still have the same system, but All Out Warfare will now be, let's say, for example, 2043.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll get all the new maps and the new spin-offs or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
new
And you
mechanics.
can just build it on that.
And then you take 2042 and you dump everything into Portal, and you have that experience there forever. It'll be like a humongous client, I guess.
Why do you think
yeah, that's how I
Edgar is
think they're
killing
gonna
the
do it.
game? That's interesting. Yeah, first time I hear somebody saying that.
I think Portal's actually kill the game. Like 2042, maybe. It depends on how. I'm so curious how Portal is, how popular it's going to be right off the bat. I'm very eager to see what happens with Portal. I can't wait. It's just,
No one is going to play Portal just to play Portal.
oh man. I mean, if you already know what the things you can do in Portal, it's almost like a fantasy. You just kind of go off like crazy. You're like, oh my God, I can do this and that. Like one of the first things I was thinking about is, well, they told me this. Let's say Portal works, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Dice can make their own standard servers. Dice can have their own like structure system, like where you could just, I wanted this, and you click in, you launch your own server, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Dice already has
Hey,
Portal servers running, right? So I'm thinking, wow, I can technically, if they let me, I can have a better experience on Portal playing 2042. let me explain. You can have all of the maps, even the remastered ones, in 2042, like style. You have specialists and everything. You just have now 13 maps instead of 7 at launch. That's incredible, right? But will that be implemented the way I think it will be? I don't know. But and you can tweak it for your own if you want to make your own server. You can have 24/7, like all maps, conquest only. You can like separate them if you wish, but it's just the way Portal's implemented. The Battlefield 5 community games didn't really get any traction. It just didn't. It was like temporary servers. The ban, you couldn't like ban people across all your games because your server would reset after a while. Is it gonna work the same? Like, I'm assuming so.
Well,
It's
first
just
off, you can only have one server on Portal. You can't have you can only have one, and then yeah, you can definitely ban people. That's what they said.
Yeah.
What I don't know yet, what I'm a little bit confused about is what about the community in general? Like, they didn't announce yet that we have platoons, right? Or that we have
Yeah,
any
no.
other system to build up communities, really. So it's that I don't know. I mean, this whole Portal thing, isn't that also connected to building up community servers, and then therefore building up communities where you have communication, where you share stats, maybe even get back battle log, stuff like that. And now it's like what is it? Oh, one little bit more like 1 month before the launch, right? What do we have? I'm so confused. October?
It's October
12th.
10th and game
Yeah,
launches
12th.
November 19th.
Yeah, and I think 1 week, 12 actually for 1 week early, right? For the ones who already order or something. So at the 12th.
12th of November.
Yeah. So
for, early access.
so
19th release.
well, yeah. I hope they bring more information when it comes down to that, actually, because
This month, they better do something.
Yeah.
Also-
I think they did. I was looking at the history, and well, it was actually even. They normally come out with how gunplay and all that doesn't work before the game release and stuff. So a whole host of quite in-depth stuff. So I'm hoping to see that, like a briefing of how weapons and customization and all that kind of stuff works a bit more. And then, of course, seeing maybe some more gameplay of the other maps and whatnot as well would be nice. And of course, Hazard Zone. Don't know if you talked about it. Did you talk about Hazard Zone yet?
no, we didn't talk about Hazard. Are there any news? Is there anything to talk about
There's
Hazard
nothing
Zone?
to talk. Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah,
to
I was
talk
gonna say
about.
all we talked about is that we don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see it coming next year. I don't think we won't get it at release. Absolutely not.
I don't think we
we're gonna get
need
next
it at
year.
release, to be honest.
No. And to be honest with you, I think Hazard Zone, I kind of want it to be released because I think it could be massive. I think it releasing at the same time as Portal and All Out Warfare, it's just going to get lost in there. I think it deserves to be released on its own, and so people can then look forward to it, and then you have everybody playing it, and there's something new. I think they'll probably add it maybe as one of the parts of the season pass. I can see it coming that way.
True. Yeah, they never said Hazard Zone would be available
Yeah.
at release.
Just-
The only thing they've ever said is that it will be talked about closer to 2042's release. So that's now, like November. That's this month.
That's next month. Yeah, next month.
So we'll learn about Hazard Zone. Whether it's going to be released on November 12th is up to them if they're done. I would be so thrilled if they have it on release, including Portal, and things just seem to be working. That would be fantastic. So we'll see.
And what do we need for the launch, in your opinion, and point of life servers from the beginning? Did they say anything about what we get? We get like do we get
Live
10
service?
special? Yeah, after the launch.
Is it 4 specialists per season? So 16 new ones, is it?
Yes.
4 specialists per season, was it? I can't
Yeah.
remember.
So Well,
think
all we
so.
know is the 1 year, right? So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
get there'll be 14, right? By the end of 1 year.
Yeah,
So it's
10,
like
10
one
was launch, I
specialist.
think, and then 4 after, yeah, 4 season, for every season.
I don't know, but it looks like it's pretty ambitious. Like you get maps every season. It could be one portal map, one 2042 map. That's a lot of work, man. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up with the seasons
That
and
was
whatnot.
that was the biggest criticism. But yeah, they've got different teams this time now. The biggest mistake they made with like Firestorm, for example, was, and again, I talked about how they were trying to fix the bugs, keep up with the live service. They were trying to build the competitive mode, make maps. They then took, as soon as Firestorm released, Criterion went off and did their own thing, and DICE took on Firestorm, so they were then working on that as well. Far too much. DICE aren't that big of a studio, and the good thing about it is now it seems different studios are all working on these, so hopefully they can keep up with it. I still expect hiccups, but you know, you can't have a season pass saying 4 specialists, 1 map, all these skins, and we get a bunch of skins in a season. That would be a disaster.
That would be 100% unacceptable if they just give us skins
I'm just
for a
giving it-
freaking
yeah,
season, dude. I'll be
know.
so mad.
you have
It'd be like worse than Tides of War. You guys love that, right? That was great, man. Wasn't that special?
Hey, Tides of War was the only reason I ever got repaired in Battlefield 5. So, you know, it had its use. There was that one challenge where it was repair a tank, and that was the only time I ever got repairs in Battlefield 5.
Yeah, well, what was it? Flip me. Try and get friggin' all the assignments. I hope they don't have the stupid assignments again. You know, like what was it? Like 10 headshots in a row with a DMR while firing. You know?
Well, standing in this 5 foot, you know, in this 1
Yeah.
meter like radius.
On a
Wow.
flag too.
Yeah.
On objectives. So you had to be close as well. Yeah.
I agree, Ollie, in the chat. Yeah. Everything. Yeah, I bet you they're already done with season 2 content stuff. No doubt. No
I
doubt.
hope so. Who knows? Maybe that's why it's today, because they have all this stuff built up and it is ready to go. But you
That's
can't
what I'm
hope-
trying to tell you, Mizzy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you asked us that question, like, oh, how do you think the launch is gonna be? Well,
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
It could be like, you know, when you're putting percentages together, it could be a disaster, really.
We have to wait. To be honest, I personally don't mind if I'm used to it from Battlefield 3 and 4 that you need to wait 3 months for the first big update and then the game is running, and I'm good with it. But I feel this time it's different. Like I feel this time, I don't know, it's different. And
Yeah.
we need a better launch, you know, we need a better launch somehow. But
They
maybe
need to nail it. Yeah.
but maybe by breaking it down and focusing on things they can control, by what you said, SMK, pushing Hazard Zone, for example, to next year, not launching it, and then saying, okay, let's focus on, you know, the all-in warfare and on Portal, that this works by launch, and it works by launch. That would be great. But I don't know. Portal is, I don't know. We will see. We have to wait. On the other hand, maybe we are too, what do you say, like
Optimistic.
well, maybe.
I can't
Maybe.
wait to try Gabytron's Portal game mode that she made. It seems really cool.
I haven't
What was
tried
that?
it myself
You
yet.
could-
Did you see the behind the scenes on that? We were supposed to go out and actually play it, but that all got scrapped last minute, so I haven't even gotten to play my own.
Oh, what? I thought you could even.
Sad.
That's really sad.
I made a whole video about it.
I saw the video, but I didn't see
Yeah,
that
I
you
seen
did.
It was
It
towards
such
the
a good
end.
video.
It was
It was a good
towards the
video.
end. People probably just watched the Portal stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm out of here.
Oh, God damn it. How did you? Let's post it again here. Hey guys, how did you feel about the audio? By the way, did you have issues with the audio as well? Were you like,
Oh yeah, it was dodgy. It was all over the place. But I mean, when I first started playing, I was like, "Oh my god, I can hear footsteps," and I was like so happy. I was by the rocket ship, and there was an enemy near me, and I heard him where he was, and it was very thrilling because I didn't get that in Battlefield 5 beta. So I was happy that I could hear things, but it got inconsistent over time. You couldn't hear people shooting right next to you. Your friendlies were shooting right next to you. Couldn't hear anything. No footsteps. No nothing. And then it comes back all of a sudden, and then it goes away. It's like all over the place.
I don't understand how in video games, like, you can hear your teammates' footsteps so easily. Why can't you hear the enemy's footsteps? Just make them exactly the same even. It's worse than not hearing them. I've never got it, because in most games where you have footstep issues, you can hear your teammates, no problem. They might be a little bit muffled, but you can still hear them, and sometimes you might turn around thinking it's an enemy. But
Yes, yeah.
but still, you hear them. You hear them running past you. You can hear it. But the enemies, nothing. You know.
Sometimes
couldn't-
nothing, yeah.
I just don't understand how someone come up behind me and knife me, and I'm sitting here with my Astro mix amp and my Astro headset. It's useless. I may as well have a pair of earbuds in.
The audio is very flat in 2042. A lot of people pointing that out in comparison to like even Bad Company 2. Like comparison to that, I've seen some videos of people, comparing Battlefield 5 to 2042 beta and how like just muffled things are or flat or some things aren't crisp, but some things are.
I was
just, I don't
confused
know.
all the time. I was always like, I hear somebody running around me, and I was looking for him, and then it felt like there was a teammate. Like, where are they? You know, and that happens especially in the big
Fake
building
footsteps.
at Bravo. Yeah, and I was always looking around me and couldn't find anyone. It was weird.
You were
In
talking
the
about
chat,
parachutes. Yeah.
I was just say in the chat, Big Brother Steve said that he put on night audio. Did you guys switch out like the
No.
audio settings? I
Not
feel
at
like I
all.
used to always do war tapes and it worked great, and I haven't done war tapes in a while because it was too much.
There was an
Yeah.
Astro. There's actually an Astro. They normally have like a Logitech setting on the Battlefield games, but they actually had an Astro EQ setting on this one, and I gave it a go. Nah, rubbish. Didn't make any difference.
Yep. Parachute sounds, people are saying here. Kind of all over the place. Silent sometimes. And parachuting is really popular in 2042, by the way.
Damn, I died
'Cause
so
there's-
much in the beginning. I crashed
no
so
spawn
many times
beacons.
on the ground.
There's no spawn beacons, and the only thing that's flying around is a helicopter, and everyone's spawning on them and jumping out immediately. Once we get all the other ways to spawn, it'll be way better. Like you won't see as much spawn beacons. Spawning on your squad mates. It'll be different. I'm pretty sure of it. But yeah, sneaky assassins. I like the verticality of Battlefield, man. It's fun.
Enemy footsteps in Firestorm were so loud. I couldn't believe the difference going to Firestorm from the Battlefield game. I don't know what difference they made, but the footsteps were so loud it caused camping, because people knew you were waiting for the other person to move, because as soon as they moved, you instantly knew where they were.
Yeah.
If they had that in the battle, because
Yes.
battle royales tend to be a bit more campier anyways, but if they had that in the main Battlefield game, that would have been fine. That would have been fine. But yeah, I don't know what happened.
So after we now talked about like over 2 hours, do you think Battlefield 2042 can convince in the end core fans and maybe even bring new fans to the Battlefield?
Oh yeah. There's so many like people referring to this game as like, oh, look at they're all Apex stuff, or look at all the Warzone stuff. Look at how he put his armor on. It's exactly like Call of Duty. Dude, Call of Duty players are gonna be very interested in this game and are interested in the game already. They're gonna sell the shit out of this game. I really think so. But it all comes down to the release. Does it work?
Yeah, if they
You
can't
know, who
stream it
knows?
perfectly on launch day, then they're gonna hate it and drop it and never pick it up again. That's what really disappoints me sometimes about the bigger streamers playing like these games on launch and stuff. It's because like, they're used to a game that works perfectly, and then you try something new and different that maybe you don't really play at all. So maybe you don't understand Battlefield to begin with, and then like you could join this like janky, buggy game, and you're like, screw this, I'm gonna get my bag and never play this game again. So I hope that it's good enough for streamers, big streamers who don't care about pacifying, like, you know, game producers being like, no, it's nice, it's okay. You know, these people will just tear into the game, destroy it, change tens of thousands of people's minds, then they're never going to play it or pick it up again.
Yeah, but I think the problem is, look, if you
Hope it's a good launch.
if you look at the big guys, okay, like I don't know, Nick Murs, Tim the Tatman, whatever, Call of Duty streamer, that costs them money. They can't stream at launch a broken game. They just can't. They can't.
Yeah, that's
deal-
what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's and no, I just mean that you can't like. For them, it needs to work in a way. Like I was just looking also for Call of Duty streamers like with the beta, and of their, I think it was a 4-hour stream, they switched after 3 hours to Call of Duty back, and they didn't say anything, you know, on stream. Really, it was more like they got bored or something. I don't know. So I just hope it won't be at launch the way, and there will be ways. Well, we get Portal and we can make, you know, fun game modes, and we have, you know, all these new maps, and yeah, and it will work in the end, you know. But I'm positive so far, because I think the beta itself, I mean, okay, yes, we had performance issues, but it was also an old version, so maybe, I mean, they still have a month, right? They're probably working on it right now. Well, not right now. Probably a day off today. Tomorrow.
Yeah,
So,
I think
yeah.
I think they made a huge mistake. I'm just pointing this. It's kind of like off topic, but
Yeah.
I think they made a huge mistake with just releasing Conquest for the beta. I think this would have been a massive hit if they had just had Breakthrough, no Conquest, just Breakthrough, straight up. I think people would have freaking went, because it would have been so insane.
I think
People would have.
it's built for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people would have had a blast. There'd be constant action. They wouldn't be complaining about, look at all the dead spaces in the map, bro. Like, why do I have to walk 500 meters to get to a base? Conquest is not designed for you to walk from one sector to the other.
Cool.
They'd
But
already
now we
told
have
you
the
that.
calling system as well.
They
Yeah,
probably don't even know
calls.
about that, though.
No, people don't know. They just think, oh, I'm done fighting C1, C2. We got it. Okay, let's go to D on foot. No, it's not designed for you to go on foot to Delta. It's a whole different sector. You either have to take a vehicle to get there, or start, you know, trying to figure out a way to get out of there. That's when they got the call-in system. So anyway, I think Breakthrough would have been way more casual friendly and way more violent and extreme.
I think they should
But
have
went
bought
with the
both.
classic.
I think they should have
Yeah,
bought both.
both.
Conquest
Both.
and Breakthrough, and then we could have played like Conquest Breakthrough, Conquest Breakthrough.
I talked to developers and they're like, I wish. They said on Twitter. I was like, what do you mean you wish? Just do it.
I saw a big Apex streamer playing it, and they were like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I don't get this. I don't understand. And if it was Rush, where there's two big, clear objectives on your screen, then they probably would be like, I don't get this. This sucks.
Yeah, or
Killing myself.
Breakthrough.
They threw a
somehow.
grenade and killed themselves, and someone's like, you know, there's a
Yeah.
redeploy button. No, they
Yeah,
didn't know there was a redeploy button.
Yeah, exactly. Redeploy.
I don't know if any of you had this bug on PC, but the C flags would disappear at times. The flags
Yeah.
would completely disappear.
Yes.
So,
Oh my God.
so no one would have been on those flags in that area of the map. So everyone kind of congregated around the other ones. So it was busier, and it was some of the better games that I had, because the whole server seemed to glitch out, and what was previously D1 and D2, it now became either HQ or C1 and C2. I don't know what happened, but it glitched out, and those flags completely disappeared over at that end of the map. So no one was ever over there. So the action between those other ones, of the 128 players, it was, you know, more players in that sector like it would be in Breakthrough. Because remember, each part of those wee sectors is probably going to have 128 players in those, and that's probably going to be great. That's probably going to be hectic, and you're not going to find you're running around in loads of dead space, because if you capture that zone, you then move on, and you know you're constantly moving forward, so you're not really running around big, huge, massive sectors. And I think it's the map's made for Breakthrough, and I don't know why they gave us Conquest. It's a bit weird.
It's standard Battlefield. I mean,
Ban
Maybe
Steve. Ban Steve.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
maybe
I
that's
do
just
know.
the way it is.
I do know why, because Breakthrough, Conquest, you have the jets, you have the planes, you probably have a lot more in Conquest than what you would have in Breakthrough. And if you've seen, everyone's seen all the trailers, it's all been vehicles and planes and all that. They make a big thing out of all the vehicles for some reason in the trailers. That's why we don't seem to have got much infantry focused stuff yet and gameplay on it. So it's likely why we got Conquest, because they know there's going to be tons of tanks and helis and jets and whatnot, and they probably have to tone that down a bit for Breakthrough, because you can't have, like, I don't know, how many jets and planes could you have in Conquest? One go?
Yeah, 4 or something. I don't know.
You're not going to have 4 each side.
No.
In, Breakthrough.
I
So,
think 2 on Conquest, you mean, right? 2
Yeah,
attack choppers, 2 transport choppers, and I don't know. I never saw
there was jets, and then
a
the
jet,
next-
1 or 2.
then- flip, you wouldn't have as many anyway. So they probably just wanted everyone to have the chance to experience them. The one thing I never seen was the friggin' rocket explode. Not once did I see it.
Oh yeah.
30. I never seen the rocket explode.
Never.
Never.
Yeah.
The
I saw
rocket,
it
the
multiple
rocket I
times.
sent multiple times, but I saw only once the tornado.
I got
And that was so
Yeah.
fun. I couldn't stop flying in the tornado. I was like constantly swinging around and around, and I couldn't stop. It was like, no, I'm not getting out of there. Leave me. I'm just watching from the top. It was really, really fun. Were you
Yeah.
happy with the TTK, by the way? Didn't you
Yeah,
tell
it's
me?
all right. It's just the hit reg was all
it's all
messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Right.
Yeah.
It's my concern with armor and having bots, because you don't have the ping issues, you're not connecting to another player. The hit registration will be perfect every time. And then you've got the issue with pings with players. So that's going to change the time to kill a little bit. So then you've got that. And then you've got the whole issue with then whenever people probably didn't know about the armor plates in the beta. So then you've got people with armor
Yeah.
plates on. So I think once all that comes into it, you're going to experience, I'm someone that's very kind of tuned in with how a weapon feels at this distance. And as soon as I fire those bullets, I'm usually switching to the next target before I even get the kill confirmed. And even in the beta, I was finding, flip, I haven't killed that player. And you're going back to that player again, and then they end up getting killed. Yeah, it's having bots and armor in it isn't something I like either, but obviously, it's going to be there. I don't see it changing, because they've obviously factored armor into the time to kill
Yeah.
and stuff with some of the weapons, Yeah, it's good that they've put the armor plates in with the whole, you can only choose between it, the ammo box, and the medic crate, because it does make you think a little bit about it, what to pick up. And personally, if I'm not running with the Asphalic, I'll probably choose the medic crate most of the time, and I would imagine most other players would be the same, unless they want to sit and camp in a corner.
Yeah.
I never
had an
tried the
issue-
plate once. I always
Yeah, the plates. Yeah.
I don't know. I completely forgot about it. I looked
Not
at it
many
the first
people run
time.
them.
Yeah.
I only got the blue hit markers a few times, but I don't think many people. Honestly, I don't even think many people knew about them. To be fair to you, I don't think they knew about them.
If
True,
you
true.
weren't doing anything against the armor,
Sorry, what was that?
Wild Time said, did anyone notice AP rounds doing anything against armor? It's a question.
People die. I mean, when I shot people with armor, didn't even look like the armor made any difference. To be honest, like I just
Yeah.
still mowed
Hmm.
them down, or
Uh,
they still killed me when I had armor on. I don't think armor was that noticeable, really.
Yeah, I
all.
tried running armor a lot towards the end just to see, like, I put some armor on when I was like 10 health and I was ducking in the corner trying to survive for a little bit longer, but like it didn't really do much for the overall gameplay or the game loop or
Yeah.
anything. So
I think I
Okay.
didn't think armor. It depends. Whenever the other specialists come along, I
Yeah.
thought armor was going to be
I
like
saw it.
like
Steve.
someone sets it down, like a specialist sets it down, and then you pick it up and put it on. I didn't think it was going to be actually one of your gadgets, which
Yeah.
is probably a good thing. we don't know yet. You know, obviously what you call Angel or Angel, whatever you call
Angel,
him. You know, it might come along where he puts it down, and then that's a way of getting it. I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. I hope you had.
He got
have to-
Irish too. Hey, what?
Irish
did they
doesn't
say?
give it.
He
Irish
doesn't give
spo-
it. Okay.
Doesn't give it. No.
He
doesn't
picks
give
it up, right?
I think yeah.
Off of dead
he's-
enemies.
Yeah, he can pick it up. So like, and that's something else I would like to see. More ammo dropping on dead enemies. I would like to see more
Ammo. Yeah, people have been complaining about ammo a lot.
ammo. It's not enough.
I ran out of ammo a couple times just because I was killing people, and then
Yeah.
I switched to my secondary. I'm like, oh great, time to
Because-
snipe with a.
I
It
think
only
Yeah.
happened with me was a sniper.
Yeah.
I never hit anything and ran out of ammo.
Did,
And
Did
then
you
it-
change the ammo types and now
Yeah.
all of a sudden you have no more ammo? I thought that was weird.
like, I,
It's
don't know,
odd.
I was wondering if that's a bug or is that confirmed that's going to be something. I hope it stays.
Mm.
You know, if you change. But
Yeah,
You
right.
got more
I think
ammo,
that's a
right?
bug.
Yeah, you got,
I'm
yeah.
hoping it is because it gave you more ammo. I don't mind
Exactly.
changing
It'll be funny
magazines.
and weird.
It's
Well,
weird. It's
do-
really weird.
Guys, we are about to get to the end.
Yeah.
Do we
Yes.
have anything we didn't pick up yet, but we should definitely talk about? I mean, we could talk about the map design, but to be honest, I
We
don't
could
think
probably
that-
talk for 10 hours about the beta.
Yeah, I think there's like I don't know if there's really much to talk about it, to be honest. If it comes down to map design, I really liked it. Is there anything? Let me ask you this: is there anything you guys you want to talk about the portal website? What's there to talk about, Bloody? There is no website, right? I mean,
I think he was talking.
It-
we
Yeah,
we have no
portal
news.
website.
We don't have news on that, and
There is gonna be a portal website for your the logistics system or that weird.
yeah, he knows that, but I
Where you
think
can
he wants to
share
know
things.
if there are news on that, right?
Oh
Nothing's
no,
come
no,
out.
no.
I would love to see a
So-
community hub, like in game. You set up your own platoon, create your own emblem. I don't think you're going to be allowed to do.
So
create
the
your
only
emblem
thing we
because
have is
we're
this
toxic,
here. We have the screenshots they gave us, right?
screenshots, yeah.
We'll see what the portal. I think the portal website would be a great community hub, like SMK is saying.
Yeah.
Just have that within the whole, logic editor. Have that in there, but plus have platoons in there, plus have, community hubs and I don't know, something. But it sounds like a lot of work for Dice. Really, I don't want to ask too much from him.
I don't think we're going to get server browsers. I personally would like server browsers, but I don't think we're going to get it.
We have to have server browsers for Portal, otherwise it doesn't make any sense, right?
I think that's where
community
we will have it.
games.
I don't think we're going to
Yeah.
have it in All Out Warfare. I think it will just
Agreed.
simply be matchmaking. But yeah,
Agreed. Which is sad, but
Yeah.
agreed.
leaderboards. Yeah, we
Um,
talked about leaderboards earlier on. I think it's one of the first things we talked about. Bloody. Yeah.
What? Sorry, I was confused.
Bloody
About
Slayer
myself,
was asking
Bloody
about
Slayer.
leaderboards. He was
Yes.
like, leaderboards.
Leaderboards? Yeah, we talked about that in the beginning. Scoreboard, you right? Leaderboard, scoreboard?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Web server browser. Well, this is the stuff we just need to wait. I mean, we didn't see it in the beta. That doesn't mean it's not coming, and I don't think they said anything about. They only said like, yeah, it's not in the beta. So we probably need to wait about that. But what do you hope to see in point of communication? I think this is a great point because people were very frustrated. I think USMK even made a video about it, why they didn't communicate that much, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
almost-
so
yeah.
what do you want to see in point of communication really to launch, and what do you hope they will do better?
It can be hard because when I started looking into it, obviously they have investors and shareholders and they can't give speculative information. They can't turn around and say, oh, okay, the team have found an issue. The game might be delayed. They can't say it might be. They can't turn around and give stuff that might make investors, start squirming and twitching around. It's either, unfortunately, we're going to have to delay the game. And until they know they have to delay the game, they don't really say anything. They take the view that silent is better than giving something information they may have to backtrack on, because then that's what, the community, if they say something and they have to backtrack, they get hammered for it. So
Yeah.
I think that's why they always take the silence road, and that's why we got it. I feel we were supposed to get the beta announcement at Gamescom. I think we're probably likely to get a small trailer there as well, with a wee bit of information, maybe a briefing after it. I feel we were to get the beta a little bit earlier than what we did get it. I feel everything's just obviously, been a little bit delayed. There was no playtest on PlayStation because of some critical error. You don't know the severity of it.
September.
It's hard for them as well because obviously, the higher ups are telling, right, we've nothing to tell people,
I mean, but look, if you want to, there's so many more ways to give us information, right?
I was going to do a video on it, but I didn't end up. There is other ways they can do it, little fun teaser things they could be putting out, people love looking into things. Take a picture of developers hard at work and maybe have an image of, say, the Hourglass map on their PC, and people are then trying to zoom in and upscale the image. It gives people, something to talk over a little bit. They can give little teasers in, people working from home. Everyone takes an image of their desktop. What's the common theme here? Get a friggin' copy of the game if you can work it out. Just little simple things that cause people a little bit hype. Fun, that kind of thing.
I feel like DICE is just afraid of the public, pretty much, because of the Battlefield 5 backlash. I think they just don't want to deal with it. Maybe Oscar Gabrielson is I just don't want to deal with this anymore. I just want to make a Battlefield game. They're like, okay, well, we're going to do it this way, I guess. I mean, there's just no creativity here when using their social media. All they got right now are memes that I most of the time don't find very funny at all, especially after going through Battlefield 5's development cycle, which was a complete nightmare and a disaster and should have never happened. But I mean, we're putting out memes here. What's going on? They were on a right track, and then they just stopped. Everything stopped. Yeah, I had so many different ideas. Like you said, screenshots or work from home. This whole made from home thing is really interesting because it's never really happened before. Vlogs, community manager vlogs, but again, I think they're just super controlly about everything they want to put out. Everything is they hate it when things are leaked. Well, they hate that Tom Henderson guy. They want to, they say these things on Twitter. It's they always be so snarky against Tom, and Tom is just a media dude. He's just getting this from sources. He got 7 I don't know, was it Game Changers or EA people? He had 7 people to respond to his stuff, and he made a whole article about it. I was wow, what does that tell you about EA and controlling specific people? People want to leak everything about this game, so it says a lot, but I don't know. I think they just need to be a little more engaged with the community when it comes to creativity. I've seen them do so much high production stuff that may cost a lot of money, sure, but they just didn't keep up with it because maybe they're just scared of the backlash, or they stopped streaming on Twitch, doing their patch drops because of too much toxicity.
Maybe they should just hire Tom Henderson as a social media manager, then he doesn't have to leak anymore.
Yeah, I don't understand why. What people do in the Temporal does the file digging and goes through all the files and puts out all these high production media posts of hey, look what this person can do, even though it's not official.
I think the main problem with a company like this, with that scale, is really that every post has to go through legal first, for example, right? So it's not somebody makes a post and then let's talk about tomorrow we will post this and that. It has to go through probably 3-5 different instances before it gets out. But anyways, maybe there's really just somebody who's putting the thumb from the top, We are not posting anything right now because we make
Right.
it worse. And you never know. You never know what the real reason is. But on this point, I think even a minimum communication, and even if it's a stupid meme, is better than nothing. And I mean, there should. I mean, now the beta is out, right? Even if they just work with the clips of the content creators still, or show what they already showed on Orbital, show us little details like, did you know this or that? Like, I mean, today in this podcast, Gabytron, you told me about that I can freeze to death. I didn't know that. Did you know you can freeze to death? I mean, there are so many ways right now, I think, to put out communication on social media that at least would people calm down a little bit and they see, okay, stuff is going on, or show us behind the scenes photos, of developers, how are they working?
It's just they don't even have to give out like, okay, here's the beta date, here's a trailer, here's gameplay.
Bureaucracy.
They don't have to do that. Just a little bit, run a competition, let us see your best concept art for Battlefield 20. Look how many people have been doing it. There's people
Yes.
even been doing it. Just show us your best concept art for what you think Hazard Zone might look look like. Free copy Ultimate Edition of the game. I'm sure they can afford it. Like to the winner, just run. Just it costs them very little just to get that community engagement, and I feel they could have. That's all they needed to do during this period where things were probably a bit of a struggle for them. They were probably trying to work really hard
Yeah.
to sort out whatever was causing the delay. They did say eventually what was causing the delay. I can't remember what it was. Something. They did eventually come out and say what it was whenever they announced it. But yeah, I just hope they learn from that. The communication was great. Obviously, communication is going to be going great whenever things are going well. I think the key is when things aren't going well, how they handle it. And I just don't think they've got the grasp of that yet. It's all great communication when things are flying, everything's great. But the key is whenever things aren't going so good and how you handle that. And that can be the key if the game dies, the players leave the game, or whether they stick around and feel engaged with.
Yes, let's go November the 12th. I love the positivity. Gabby, do you have something maybe, I mean, you're the only EA game changer right now, or I should say, wait, you're not an EA game changer anymore, right? Are you now a net?
I don't know. I don't know what they're
Yay.
calling it anymore. I just know it's called the Creative Network. I don't know if we have a new name or anything.
Yeah, I just try to find a word now because it's not that personal
Like I think
anymore.
that's a great change as well, because now that it's not just content creator, it's people that friggin' do art, people that take screenshots, virtual photography, people, the guy that makes the wee Lego things.
Yes, he's there
all
as
that
well.
kind of stuff.
That's great.
All that. It feels everyone could now be involved with that, and I think that's great. That's a good change.
It
They've
is.
made.
But actually, I have one last question because Gabby, do you feel like it's not only a name change, it's also did they change anything else, like from your perspective?
It's different in the way that they just the way that you like give information to them, and like you actually choose what kind of creator you are now, whereas before it's like here's your stuff, go make videos out of it, here's the watermarks. And now it's like you can choose if you're like lifestyle, if you're a content creator, if you're a YouTuber. Well, content creator isn't even a word there. It's like podcaster, YouTuber, Twitch streamer, or live streamer, whatever they call it, and stuff like that. So it's just more like, you can actually personalize your account to be like, yes, I'm a lifestyle blogger or whatever. And they're like, cool, we'll put you in the system because you can be a lifestyle blogger in the Creator Network. Apparently, I don't know what that means or what that is.
Yeah, I was
but you can be
actually
in there.
thinking like, what is that? Do you want
I don't know,
look?
but-
Look, he wants to be there.
Maybe I can be one.
I don't know, like modeling friggin' Battlefield merchandise. Is that what they're trying to sell? Battlefield merchandise is on the way. Reviewing the merchandise.
Are they actually working on that?
I don't know. I think it was a
I
scene.
hope they would.
I know people are requesting it a lot.
Who was it? I seen someone saying they actually
Capo
acknowledged it,
said
and
that.
they were talking about we get a lot of requests for this, but was it?
It
Total?
wa-
It was Statford.
Was it?
Stratford?
Okay, yeah.
No, it was
Stratford,
not.
I believe.
No, it was
Yeah.
not. It was damn it,
I can't
community
remember
manager.
who it was.
Stratford.
Yeah,
No, the other one.
Total FPS.
Yes.
it might
Thank
be-
you.
one?
I
Yeah.
just someone was, and
I'm
they
pretty
says yes, we
sure.
get a lot of requests from this, but what could we offer? Friggin' offer everything, friggin' teacups and
Yeah,
everything.
he asked what
Stick
would you like to
Battlefield on it.
see, and I was also like, make something, you know.
Just anything. Stick Battlefield logo on it and people will buy it. Honestly,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know why. They'd make an absolute ton of money. A ton of money. People go crazy for that stuff. Like,
Cancelled.
yeah.
What?
Uh,
All right,
I
guys.
keep forgetting Total
Yes.
FPS's community manager. I thought he was like
yeah.
Really?
something else in EA.
Yeah. It used to be, I can't remember. What
Yes, he
it?
was.
He's community manager now, yeah. And then Stratford, he's like lead community manager or something. I think he's took over like Freeman's kind of role.
He's global, right?
Yeah, he's something. Yeah, I can't remember.
I hear him the most. I don't hear much from the other two. Total FPS has done a couple of feedback.
Yeah, he's been doing
posts.
getting feedback on vehicles and how specialists and whatnot are handling and that. Yeah.
Have you seen those EA forums?
Yeah.
Damn, they're the answer forum. Oh my god, there are some terrible things on there. Like just the worst type of feedback. There's like, this map is bad, and that's it. Period. This map is bad.
I
Your
saw
game
somebody
is
say that they
terrible.
should take out the your squad person is in combat. They're like, I should be able to spawn in a name whenever I want. I was like, yeah, go ahead and do that. And every time you get shot, let's see how much you complain afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm
I
so
saw that as
happy.
well.
I'm so happy that is not as bad as Battlefield 5's kick out when you
Down
try
and
to
up,
spawn on
down and
someone.
up. Yeah.
Down and
No,
up and
That
down,
makes
up and
that
down.
makes you so aggressive, right? It's like
Oh, I
something.
hated that.
I mean, it's something. I mean, please give me a scoreboard, please, because this is really making me toxic.
Yeah, they made it worse in the very last update to Battlefield 5. They made it even worse. I don't know how they could have made it worse.
So terrible. Anyway, that's gone now. We don't have to
Yes,
worry about
yes.
it.
Hey guys, thank you so much actually for being here tonight with me. I think we talked a lot about a lot of stuff, and if we missed something, then we just do it again.
We'll do it again.
We do it again.